What have you been reading, Patrick?
Right now I'm reading this. I'm about 3/4 done with this awesome history of tear gas, which has been really good. And I'm reading some stuff for this Freud course I'm teaching. But yeah, the tear gas histories are. This is the second one I'm on now. They're really depressing. Like
Understandably.
Yeah.
How far back does it go? Is it really just it's World War One?
It's World War One. Yeah, it's like 1914. It's CSCB.
That's right. We covered that.
Yeah, no, but like it's one of the weird things too about it is that like it's a lot of like it's a history of the emergence of business culture. So like there are all these like telegrams between generals and chemists and strategists and basically the beginning of the PR industry. And I didn't know actually that like public relations as an industry came into being because of like literally arms manufacturers and strike-breaking like Rockefeller types. Oh, I don't have my audio plugged in. I need to fix that. All right. Did they get the helicopter? Oh shit.
I was going for this mission over here.
I was just run over by a helicopter.
Oh damn.
Oh, what a terrible way to die.
That's fine.
Are you still in Verdansk? Ah! All right. I died in the gulag and not in the way. I was.
Last chance.
Yeah, not in the way that I didn't know. Yeah. Oh, he's going to be able to join us, I think, if we can.
Move to the next location.
I know I downed somebody. Oh, okay.
This is foul. Solid work.
Oh, the other thing I'm reading, I was just reading this paper about psychoanalysis in World War II, and I guess like all these CIA agents were trained to like write like psychobiographies of Hitler and stuff, and like do organizational psychology stuff on like how to denazify the German police. But also apparently denazification wasn't really a denazification. It was just like picking the right kind of Nazis, which was kind of unsurprising yet distressing to learn. Oh, he's in. Here, I'm going to okay.
He's in? I can
yes.
just pick a fight with somebody and
okay.
See how quick I die.
So yeah, like that's precisely right. Like the denazification stuff people were talking about there. Like yeah, Stuart Schrader was casually mentioning this in his when we did a book event, and it just blew my mind. Like the guy says these little things, just sends you reeling. But yeah, I guess like when we caught the U.S. occupied Germany in 1945, like it was all about finding the people who had like the right level of being Nazis. I guess like finding that Goldilocks spot where it was like, well, you were sort of like I don't. Essentially, a lot of them were brain drained back to the States to build rockets and do all this other shit. But like yeah, like a lot of German police were just straight up Nazis. So there's that, which is relevant right now when people talk about abolishing the police, because if we're going to abolish the police, then we're probably going to need some sort of mechanisms for, let's just say post-conflict truth and reconciliation / accounting for stuff like debathification type stuff. That needs to happen.
Yeah,
let's see.
Back.
Why, thank you. Okay.
I'll drive. Come on.
Oh shit. Somebody's right there. Ah, damn. We're on the other side. It's gonna be all you.
Oh, I maybe,
Gulag time.
Win this fight and you return to the front line. But if you lose, you're done. Beat them down or capture the objective. Show them no mercy. Stand by
I want
for
the Gulag.
deployment.
Oh, let's see.
Did you know, Dan, that one of the first social movements to like actually use internet for organizing, like BBS, like early, like mid to late 80s, like early 90s stuff, was the Ku Klux Klan neo-Nazi movement.
Early internet, really? No,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Some of the first the first like non-corporate, not like just like Star Trek or what, like pure like fandom or like hobbyist thing, like the first like social political movement was this guy Abe Beam in Louisiana. Yeah, and they ran like lone wolf servers on BBSs and like early Unix platforms and stuff.
It's kind of telling. Like again, I'm not surprised to hear that the internet kind of still has a swastika for a backbone, doesn't it?
Yeah, really. Yeah, very, well, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, and for a front end, increasingly.
Seriously, I feel like any given like forum you go into for long enough comes out the other end gross. Well, there's two of me, and we're mirrored.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to introduce yourself? How about I'll let you do that, then I can say nice things about you instead. Our guest, we're very excited to have, and drum roll, it is.
Thank you for waiting. This is awesome. You're worth the wait.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, everyone else, for waiting. I'm Richard White. I work in public policy here in Oklahoma City. My relevance here, though, is that I joined the military shortly after the Iraq invasion, deployed to Iraq 3 times in the Air Force and the Army National Guard, worked as a security contractor in Afghanistan, and really like video games. And I've really been interested in how my war experiences shape my video game experiences and vice versa. So I'm glad to be here.
It's delightful to have you here. I should say, yeah, I came across some of the interventions that you were doing in like reflecting on counterinsurgency several years ago. I just remember being like incredible, like just like super clarifying, like morally and intellectually, and just like really powerful stuff. And so like being able to talk with you over the years has been like really edifying and giving me and I think a lot of people who like follow you so much. But yeah, thank you for joining us and bearing with the tech stuff. Do you want to play like Warzone with us and just talk while we do it?
I would love to play Warzone. I think that would settle me down a little bit now because I've been pretty frustrated with the tech stuff.
Wait, what really is the facial hair regulation? Because I feel like more and more I see soldiers with huge grizzly beards and like suited out with their armor and stuff like that. But I've always thought that you had to be clean shaven. Am I completely mistaken there? Is that true?
Well, this guy's British, right? So
SAS,
who knows what kind of crazy laws they have, regulations they have. But in the U.S. military, at least in the Army and the Air Force, beards are still unauthorized unless you have a medical waiver necessitating growing a beard, like maybe you get ingrown hairs on your face or something. However, this is all taking place, in combat somewhere, and there's supposed to be special operations, and those guys are allowed to grow out their facial hair to
Check your gear and
A,
weapons.
blend in with the population, but also B, just so they can feel cool and separate from the rest of the military.
They earn the privilege to whiskers.
Basically.
Enemy soldier.
I shared in the Discord, and I know you've seen the Nate Powell comic, like the About Face thing. That's all like about the presentation of like masculinity and like outfits, and so it's like the combination, the beard and the Oakleys and the face mask. Like it's just Yeah,
so that's what that beard comes to in the vet community now is, the special operations community is tiny, but the rest of the veteran community, they still look up to that. So that's why like beards are so common in the vet community. Is A, you finally get a chance to grow a beard, but B, you can sort of look like the guys that you want to be.
I guess like I had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask you, but then we both have questions. One thing I just wanted to ask you right off the bat was, did you play a lot of video games growing up, and when did you first start playing like first-person shooters and Call of Duty? Like, what was your relationship with video games?
Yeah, I've always played video games almost as far back as I remember. Let's pick a landing site here.
Yes.
Away from the flight path.
All right.
How about here in Boneyard?
Get to the
All right.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. We'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Never
We'll,
mind.
we'll go
Yeah,
wherever
my
you
first-
tell us.
Sure. My first video game system was a Game Boy that I got in 1989, maybe. I think that's when it came out. And I loved it. I remember I just was enraptured with it. All I had was Tetris. That's what came with it,
Yeah.
And I just loved it so much, though. My mom would say, time for bed, and I would say, okay, but let me finish this game of Tetris. And then I would just like die and hope she didn't notice and keep, playing more and more and more games to stay up. Like, just be able to play Tetris. Like today, it seems, absurd, like to like stay up playing Tetris, like it's so boring. But I really loved it as a kid, and as the video games got more and more advanced, I was just all for it. But I played all the way until I graduated high school and joined the military, and at that time I sort of decided I was, it's time to throw away my childish things, and not play video games. And then I didn't pretty much the whole time I was in the Air Force. It wasn't until after I got out that I had been playing. I was on terminal leave. I was still living with a couple of guys still in the Air Force, so I was getting paid not to go to work. And while they were going to work, I was playing my roommate's PS3 with Modern Warfare that had just come out. And I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome!" That one down.
Yeah, I'm already down.
I was not paying attention. I was just telling stories.
I also burnt a hole in my my Tetris cartridge with my Game Boy. That was my first cartridge as well. That game was great.
Yeah. But it's ironic, I guess, now thinking back, that what got me back into video gaming after my not really being into it while I was in the military the first time was Modern Warfare. I was just amazed by this game. I was just laying on the coffee table. I put it in because I was bored, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. It's like a shooter with RPG qualities. You sort of rank these weapons and kill streaks. It was all pretty amazing at the time. I was like, this is really, really captivating video game. They got me back into video games. When I moved out, I went and bought my own PlayStation and Modern Warfare and played the hell out of it.
Did you just play the multiplayer, or did you do the campaign?
I just played the multiplayer first, but then I eventually played the campaign because someone told me it was really good, and I remember being kind of impressed with it, actually, like just the storytelling aspect of it. Yeah, I was like, oh, that is pretty good, but that was probably the last time I could say that.
Oh, hey, where are we going?
Your teammate has failed.
No!
I'm sorry about what we're doing to your KD. That's what I'm saying.
Sure. This experience is worth more than KD. The fellowship of your brother, man.
Well, I honestly, that's it is a delight to have you on. Like, I guess
Well, also let's win.
we
should win. We should definitely win. Like this one might be a warm up, but we're definitely gonna win the next one for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, so we have a quote from Schopenhauer in the chat. Here's the line: "The beard, being a half mask, should be forbidden by the police."
Oh.
Which I can't get enough.
They're gonna start saying that again here. Do beards wreck facial recognition technology, or maybe they don't? Maybe they.
I don't know.
They've already defeated them.
Like the whole normalization of wearing masks, is probably fucking facial recognition, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
What also messes with facial recognition technology is painting your face like a juggalo. That's true.
That's awesome. They're gonna be the Revolutionary Vanguard, and they're gonna
They might just be.
Dude, the FBI targeted them as a counterinsurgency thing, right?
Yeah.
No, what?
That's right. Infiltrating the gathering. Oh my!
You alright?
Okay, I just got smoked. Yeah, my 9mm versus that guy's LMG did not end well.
Watch out, dude.
Ah, shit! Don't you love it when you go to refill your armor and you swap your weapon instead?
Did a lot of people play games? Like, were people playing games on deployment, like in theater, or how did that work? I don't even know like what.
Yeah, absolutely. So my first couple deployments, I was in the Air Force, and I was in communications. So I was in a support role, and I stayed on a big base, and so we had many of the comforts of home, and one of those was being the communication squadron too. Like we provided like internet to the base, so. We had all the guys who knew about networking and stuff and pirating, and so we had like our own morale drive on the official DoD network that was full of pirated games and music and movies, and so we would have LAN parties, on the base network. Not really a LAN party. I mean, on the base network, the base network that we're providing, but on that base network, we're playing Call of Duty 2 with each other.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it got. I remember at one point, like it got like so that was all everyone really got into it, like the whole squadron, and like the commander had to come down and like ban it, and
Oh man.
but that it just drove us a little deeper underground. But at one point, it was like kind of a thing for a minute, like we were all just playing Call of Duty all the time.
Why do you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Why did he want to ban it? I just was.
Oh, because there was like a war going on and we had a mission,
All right, pick a spot. I will follow you.
All right.
Gas is closing in.
Let's go. I want to get far away from people so we can have a nice talk,
Yeah, what about you?
Farmland.
How about we
Sounds
go
good.
to port?
Does anyone
All right.
Not here.
I'll take that.
Never mind.
Yeah, just tell me when to drop. I'm in. I love the idea of a morale drive.
Go, go, go.
Did like one person have the keys for that thing to be able to do all the pirating, or was this like a collective effort? Or do you not want to say? I respect that.
Well, all these morale, just like it would be out of the military, if you think about the kind of people that would do this kind of thing,
Right.
It's collective, like it's there like the network shop of the communication squadron could access it, and they could give access to other people if they had all the admin rights to everything on base, so.
That's interesting. For escapism, it seems like when you're in combat, I never thought of that as wanting to relax in an environment like that.
Primary objective is to eliminate all targets.
I mean, people just want to do the same things they do at home, so like in the 1940s, in World War II, like the USO shows were like these variety shows and stuff because that's what people did back then. But like now, what do people do?
Proceed to the marked location and secure the area.
Later, when I was deployed, a few years later, when I was deployed to Iraq or Kuwait with the Army National Guard, we had a Call of Duty tournament on base, and my guys, my mortar section, actually won this base-wide Call of Duty section. I didn't participate in it. But it was my soldiers, and they won like gift cards to AFIS, for like I don't know, $50 or $100 or something.
That's
Sniper
were
rifle.
people. I mean, is it wrong to suppose that there may have been people who may have had side bets on that as well?
I'm surely, right?
I mean, I'd imagine, right? Like,
I would have.
you actually may find this story amusing. When I was in like grade school, like second or third grade, and it's like Gulf War I, we had a veteran come to our library to give a talk about just like she had slides and like she was a woman. That's the thing I remember too. Like I forget what branch she was with, but it was like slides of burning oil wells and like burned out trucks. Like she clearly sanitized it a bunch. But at some point during the slideshow, there were a bunch of images, like 3 in a row, that she had got left in there by mistake, and it was a whole bunch of people gambling over a fight in which there was a shoebox, and I think it was like a scorpion and a giant spider or a pair of scorpions. I don't even know, but it was like people like in their tank tops and like were definitely waving like these stacks of like Kuwaiti money, I guess. It was very weird. So someone in the chat was wondering about like the like the relation, like noting how a lot of military people in their family play COD and other games like that for like entertainment,
Eyes on the
and
device.
what the relationship of that to like actual combat is. I'm wondering, like it feels like a basic question, like is this real feeling? But like I'm wondering what. It seems both very close and very different at the same time. I don't really know like what I.
Sure.
It feels
Well,
like plain work. Yeah.
I think the first sort of, just take to understand is that like the number of people in the military who do this type of thing, like things that we're doing in this game, this like, the patrolling, an enemy territory and
Recon intel secured.
engaging
Solid work.
with the only purpose of going out and killing people
If you need
is
something,
very, very, very small, and the rest of the military is doing
Contact.
everything, supporting that. Got it. Let's push.
2 contacts. Flank right.
I got you right here.
All right. Coming for you. Coming for you. Oh shit. Let's see. We should be able to buy you back in a hot minute. Let's see.
I didn't realize my weapon was.
Oh, that's the worst. It's like single shot or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, DFL. Yeah.
Surviving earns the redeployment.
So I think for most veterans that play this, like it's not to relive a specific combat experience.
That makes sense. And so it's like movie-like or filmic, I guess, right?
Or also like if you think about it, I mean, you do learn a lot of things in the military, even if you don't necessarily use them in combat, and so you get it's kind of like you get the opportunity to like
LMG.
apply some of the things that you've learned, and it's also just fun because lots of this game.
Your teammate is redeploying.
Yeah.
Stand by.
Like
Oh,
just in the
awesome.
same sense that someone who's never been in the military would like it. Like that's the same reason guys in the military like it too.
Well, like you said, it's got the RPG mechanics, but it also has that like kind of. This always kind of felt like a fantasy game in a weird way to me. Like how fluid it is, how graceful you are. Every movement is so perfect and mechanical and stuff. It feels a little bit like fantasy to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely a game, I mean, and it's fun. Like it's a fun game. That's why it's such a popular series. It's not like the veteran community keeping this alive,
No, that's right. Like I think it's like 5. We were looking at the numbers earlier, like from one of the first streams we did, and like there's just crazy, like $5 billion. Like 250 million people have bought one game or other in the series, right? Like they'll routinely break 20 million. Like I don't. It just seems so ubiquitous for now, like multiple generations of young men. In particular, is really like. And I guess like what I'm wondering about, like what we've been talking about a lot, like on the stream and thinking about, is like the distinction between, or like if there is a distinction between like the bits that are just like movement and light and sounds, like like the way Tetris was, right? Like which is really like that kind of like you just have that like twitch reflex thing, and like where the ideology and like the politics come in. And I'm like wondering, like when you were playing it, did you ever like? I guess part of the reason that people are curious about like military players of this in particular is because that seems to point at like the representational dimension of the game seems so like live there, because it's like, well, you must be thinking about war and whether it's a good war or whatever. Like I'm wondering, like when you were playing it, did you ever think about the game as like a political thing, or like I don't want to make you talk about your politics too much if you don't want to, but just like what was your experience with that? Did you ever start to think about it in those terms, or like how did you relate to it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to talk about politics behind these things for sure.
Yeah.
But when I was, I mean, specifically like playing Call of Duty while deployed, I don't remember thinking about that at all. Our motivation was, and what we thought about was the same thing that anyone playing the game think about is, like who's better, how to like express your masculinity by like dominating someone else, like through the video game, and
yes,
that competitiveness and rivalry, like, I mean that's kind of what I remember feeling and thinking about during playing those games, but I definitely did start to think about what these video games meant politically. And I think it was after I've been deployed a few times, 3 times I've been deployed, and I was in college. I played one of the games. I think it was Modern Warfare 2. I don't remember, but I played it was the one where you shoot up the airport.
Yeah, no Russian. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2.
All
Yep.
right, we're in the circle. Get ready to fight.
And I just remember playing that and just being like, this is ridiculous, you know, and that and the story just being, you know, completely nonsensical, you know, like,
Fantasy.
and just,
Yeah.
melodramatic without, just completely nonsensical. And being upset at that, like, being like, why are they teaching people this gobbledygook, this nothingness when it's based on realness, you know, and that started for me. Yeah, so it definitely wasn't while I was there. I wasn't that introspective, I guess, about it. But later, as I noticed, maybe, I don't know, I guess as I noticed that the things that I thought, the things that are supposed to be represented as real weren't real, you know, and it takes, like, I had to learn that, you know, through experience, you know what I mean?
Right.
Otherwise, you just sort of see it on its face value and think, like, if you've never been in the military, this is your only exposure to it, you're going to imagine the military's a lot like this, you know? And then once you're, you know, exposed to the reality of things, then you come back and you start to figure out unreal it is.
Damn it. I'm down. There's 3 guys on.
I think there's oh shit. In the chat.
I got moved.
Good
Okay.
guy.
In the chat, 2 things, your lay things that are interesting here. Zenobius says, when I was in the infantry, half our locker room talk before PT every morning with people's KDR and favorite unlocks in COD the night before. So
Yeah, there you go.
Return to the front line, but if you lose, you're done.
And then also, and GFTL in Europe says, I have a relative who is in Angola as a Soviet Marine, saw combat action, and loves Call of Duty also. So, there you have it.
You fought hard out there. Return to base when
Both
you're
like Allegiance and, oh shit, are we all dead?
I think we're all dead. Look at that.
Alright. Okay.
Wait, are we all dead? Yeah, we're all dead.
Oh, they're all dead.
And so, yeah, it's interesting that, you know, it is, you know, people, you know, young men like video games like Call of Duty, and young men are in the military. So, like, young men,
Tracks.
you know, where is that, you know, that's pipeline is interesting to me, you know, like, because people have been playing this game for a couple generations now, you know, and so if you play this game as a young man thinking it's going to be like the military, and then you join the military, and you still play the game because it's fun, and you experience, you know, things in the military, and then someone younger than you sees you playing the game in the military, and you like it, so they think that, you know, the military is fun to join like that. You know, like there's they react to each other. You know, like it's the video games like recruit people into the military, but the military also provides things for the video games to make money off of. You know.
Did you ever play America's Army?
I did, yeah. I was in high school, right before I enlisted, yeah. And one thing I remember about that game is not liking is I thought it was boring. Like the training, the tutorial.
I remember that.
The tutorial was so boring. Like you had to go out into the shooting range and lie there and wait for them to tell you to shoot. And you're just like, I want to shoot something, and you start shooting the
instructor,
like the tower or something. Yeah, and then you fail. You're like, oh, this is so boring. Like, why is this so long? And I didn't really like the game. And I didn't think the online was that great either. But later, when I joined the Army after I was in the Air Force, and I went to the range for the first time in basic training, I was like, oh my god, it's exactly like the game. It's so long and boring. It's just so not fun to be out here shooting at all, just like it was in the game.
I do remember that tutorial being 15 minutes long, and it was like a badge of honor to get all the way through it.
Yeah.
When I see like branded weapons in games like this, I always think of that game. It's being like now they've gotten better at like I'm sure they're paying Call of Duty a little bit, or Call of Duty's paying the military a little bit. I don't know which way that money is handed off there, but I'll fondly remember America's Army.
Watch the skies.
I'm not sure if they've.
Well, yeah. So which way is that money handed off? Like, I mean, so now that the military has esports teams, that means the military is paying into these esports leagues, right? So like to participate just like anybody else, right? So like
It's where their audience is.
That esports leagues are now like funded by the military. Like it's kind of interesting that
I don't blame them. That is like you said before. It's where the
So
audience
like
is.
they're funded by the military and they're full of shooting games now. That benefits the military.
Talk about like the idea of like a military industrial entertainment like complex, like it's multiple institutions and like feedback loops and they're all working together.
Yeah. How about back here?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I'll comment.
Right
Go
there.
for you.
Yep, I'll
Yes.
take it.
And it does seem to just sprawl and grow.
Wait, turn around, Patrick.
In this way. Oh, whoops, behind you. Yep. Following you.
I'm moving.
Perfect.
It's so much. It's so much that I can't even. Like I can't even begin. Like I could talk about a few things that I think off the top of my head, but like to really examine it, it would just be like. It would take so long. It would take such a thorough understanding of so many different industries. It really would. It's because it's so intertwined with so many things. Like I think a good example of this, and people might be, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, it doesn't sound very believable to say. Like what is it? That's crazy. Like show some of these examples or something. It can't be that. It can't be that dramatic. But think about. I really started thinking about this when there was when Trump was planning to have a military parade.
Yeah.
4th of July parade, right? A parade in D.C. Remember when that was like our biggest concern?
Yes.
Whether Trump was going to have a military parade.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Right. Well, back then, I just didn't understand why. Let's keep going. We got bad guys down here.
I've acquired a chopper.
Let's get in that chopper and keep going further.
All right, I'll come down and grab you here. What?
I'll rifle cover.
Move over.
Patrick, your video cut out and you got real quiet.
Yeah, no, my for whatever reason, Discord died on my laptop. I'm rebooting that and now on audio, so on my phone.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Dan, get in.
Oh,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
Sitting ducks here.
Get in. We're going to go murder people.
Trying. Yes. Thank you.
All right.
I'll ride with.
Tell me where to go. I'll go wherever.
I have no weapons.
I marked a recon over there.
All right, that's good.
You can stay airborne. I'll hop down there, grab a gun while I'm in there, and then run back out.
All right.
I gotta grab them. Well, we're pretty far from stuff here. Let's just hang out here and get guns and stuff.
Touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get guns.
All right. Got it.
Well, we got guys right ahead. 240.
In the building right here.
We need to leave.
Here.
Just go. Can we go in?
Yep. Just go.
I'll ride along.
Oh, did you really? Good for you. Badass.
Oh my god, pick up this. Fuck. Yes.
I'm
We're
moving.
good.
All right, cool.
I'll ride with.
All right, wherever you want to go. Okay, I see it.
Does anyone need this?
Whew, thanks to the chopper. That's great.
Wait, careful that.
Yeah, chopper was definitely a good move here. So you were saying about like the Trump parade moment and like people being worried about tanks. Yeah.
So, yeah, and people were, like this is, and people saying this is not America. That's what a dictatorship does. That's not what
North Korea.
America. Yeah, that's what North Korea does. Like I can't believe America is sunk so low under Trump.
I got
Oh
sniped.
my god, they shot you out of the helicopter.
It's alright, you'll have to buy me back. I believe it.
Wow, that was you got back. Oh, you're done. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's alright. We get to spectate now. Oh, never mind. I'm in the gulag. You'll never be able to get this anecdote out.
I'm so scared right now.
I'm falling right behind you here. There's.
One now. Fight
Okay.
to burn redeployment.
That helicopter's almost dead.
I could probably slice a few people in the rotor. Still, it's that kind of pleasure. It was just small
Yeah.
arms fire.
Fight.
All right, let's go to that scavenger one. Hopefully there's no one around. There is.
Oh.
Good arm.
Yeah, Sam, me too.
It's the slightest game.
I remember people being like super like terrified about the symbolism of this like. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
In retrospect.
They were terrified of it. The idea that America doesn't do things like that. We don't show off our military, right? That's only what Soviet Union does, you know. Like, but we do that, and we do it every. Well, before COVID, we did it at every sports game. You know, every college football game. There's some sort of military presence. There's some sort of giant flag. There might be a flyover. There might be a jet flyover. There might be a helicopter flyover. There might be a parachutist, you know, coming in. It's just incredible, and it's not just college. You know, it's college football. It's pro sports. It's even high school stuff. They'll have a couple military guys, you know, come and do something, you know, or their ROTC department or something. It's like become like ingrained in American culture, but it's not that old. It's only since 9/11, you know, like it wasn't like that when I was a kid watching, you know, Major League Baseball. It was the militarization after 9/11, and we are that country, and we do it.
We understand.
So every kid watching every sport, they go to the sport to go see these, you know, the men they want to emulate, right? The athletes and whatnot, and then they see the military associated with that, and it's you know, athleticism and manliness and all these cultural values, you know, like it's pervasive. It's everywhere. It's in any airport in America you go to. It seems like there's a billboard with thanking our troops or something like that. You start looking for it, it's everywhere, and you don't see it because it's everywhere if you're not looking for it.
GFTL says the military fetishism is actually really weird from a European perspective, but I find it perfectly relatable from having grown up in the Soviet Union, which is a pretty good comparison.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
It's like, this is like, yeah, like one of the themes that like we keep talking about in every single one of these games that we play is like, where is the ideology, right? But also like, you know, is the ideology more in the single player than it is in the multiplayer, or is the multiplayer actually more ideological, and then, or is the two of them together? But also the other thing we keep like encountering is how like ideology is unspoken in some way. Like it's the stuff you don't even know that's coded ideologically, that's like the real ideology somehow. And I think after 9/11, like from New York, I remember everyone just having flags everywhere suddenly, and it was very weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing flags for sale at the local like Wawa. Right next to it would be like antifreeze, Twinkies, American flags.
Hey, you got the gas behind you.
Oh shit, moving.
So Mastodon says, it seems like it's become a very common thing at some point. If I had to guess, it would have been at the transition between World War II games, where the gun models are more of a cultural iconography, and modern games where the guns are products and the games are played by potential customers.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that observation. Yeah, the game. We were talking about that yesterday about how the guns in these games are products. And so much so now. I mean, they always were, but so much so now. Like they have like. I mean, when you put these ZLR scopes and stuff, like they're advertising a brand of like gun modification in the same way you would buy like car parts. You know,
did playing COD, like in the barracks, affect how you guys saw your equipment?
Yeah, I think it did. I think because I knew what an ACOG was from Call of Duty before I was ever issued an ACOG, you know, and so there definitely was a moment where like I was like excited to get, you know, an ACOG for my M4 and like look through it and like, oh wow, it looks just like Call of Duty, and yeah, for sure. And yeah, isn't that weird?
Like I noticed too that in this game in particular, the AR-15, right? All the M4 models, I guess, like they don't call it the AR, right? But like that's the one that has the most data files, and also so it's like by far the most animated one. It's the most like lovingly sort of like digitized, and also that's the one where there are the most different personalizable like blueprints by far. There are like 10 of them for it, as opposed to like I think the next biggest one, like some of the SMGs have like 3. But it's definitely like America's gun, and that's the one that everyone wants to like play with, and yeah, that's the idea that you can just go out and buy one is kind of wild in some ways.
Yeah, and there's so many different types of AR. I mean, you know that. I mean, just different brands taking the exact same gun. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, so it's not just the military and the video game industry that have a relationship, but it's bigger than that, right? The military, and the gun industry and the video game industry have a relationship that depends on each other.
Oh,
are you dying in the gas right now?
I'm dying in the gas. God damn it! Here I come. I think I may be able to do this. I may be. Oh no! Oh.
You looked down for a second. I remember. This is only like tangentially connected to what we were just talking about, but a weird story from when I was in high school and playing Call of Duty. And I had a friend who.
We got bad guys on the roof up here.
Ooh,
who like
they got me.
I'm gonna come and throw. Shit, are you down? All right. Are they? Do they have like a line of sight on me there?
They're on the roof.
I got your.
Oh
sweet!
shit!
We're all released from the gulag.
That's the best.
On me.
All right, come right to you. Coming right to you.
Yes. I actually, people in the street. I'm pulling you.
Awesome. I was about to ask, can you pick a weapon? All right, I'm going right for it.
Cool. People in the street were talking about the Desert Storm trading cards. Yeah, I definitely have some of the pack of cards with like the various Iraqi governmental officials. Did they issue those to you when you were over there?
No, I was never issued one. I was, I didn't. My first deployment wasn't until 2006, and I was in the Air Force. So it wasn't like I was trying to.
Enemy on my ping. Enemy on my ping.
But I did have a pack. I remember, someone getting me a pack for a gift or something. So I remember having it.
The youth pastor in the church I grew up in gave a bunch of them away to the kids in his youth group. I think I still have my pack.
Yeah, it'll be really weird in another 30 years or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, you what? Oh shit! I'm taking shots.
Oh, yep, behind you.
Going in. Wait, cancel that.
Hey, check your 6.
Me?
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.
I'm down.
I'm going for you.
Shit, I'm.
I
think
I may be able to get you. No, I may be able to get him. I may be able to get you.
No, there's an enemy up here with me. Don't come up here. There's one up here with me.
I had to.
Enemy UAVs popped. All right, I'm going inside a building. We should get an attic.
All right, yeah, you're done. Okay, sorry about that. We got spread out there. My bad. Oh shit! Someone has eyes on me, and I am taking a lot of fire.
All right, there's a shopping cart.
If you need something,
Do we have money? No, we don't have enough money.
I think we can't like pool money, can we?
Yeah, I could drop my cash and give it to you, but I'm not sure.
Oh shit! I just got shot dead in the street. Here, I'm gonna turn on my audio just a little bit because not hearing footsteps is probably killing me.
Oh shit, he's up there
on the crest up there. Yeah.
This is not a fight I'm gonna win from this range. Here we go.
So I guess like the playing card thing is very old, right? I remember seeing like some military auctions where like playing cards for like World War II era ones that are about like identifying like Japanese boat silhouettes or like German fighter types or Nazi officials. Like I guess this is like because like the idea is like this is what you do. You sit around and you. I mean, I presume a lot of the cards were not all like cheesecake girls or straight pornography, right? But then a lot of it was also like you learn these things by doing them, and then you constantly you're seeing them, and so you know what a Stuka looks like or whatever. But yeah, in a world in which people are playing Call of Duty instead of playing cards, presumably you need a different set of like.
Hey, we got to like what was that 18 with not really paying attention.
I think so.
Oh wow!
If we shifted a little bit of attention in the in
okay, let's do it. We'll do it
in key moments. We'll just rock this thing.
Okay, I'm turning up my audio here. We're gonna put our. I had a friend was a like study like religious studies and like did like translating all these like Japanese Zen and Chinese Zen manuscripts and stuff. But he also like led a meditation group, and I remember hanging out with him at one point. He was like, I think of meditation as like thoughts, like my brain is both the sky and clay pigeons, and when I'm meditating, I'm just going poof, 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 and they're breaking up like in the air. And like that's how he viewed meditation, is like annihilating his thoughts as they moved across his mind. And I'm like, oh, I get to that state by doing that actually with actual clay pigeons. And it was a very
Yeah, that's interesting.
Richard, do you mind if I ask what got you to sign up for the military in the first place?
Watch the skies.
Well, both my parents were in the military, so that was definitely part of it. And you know, 9/11 happened when I was in high school, and I grew up in the D.C. area. So, and my mom had worked at the Pentagon off and on. Like I remember being actually like afraid that day, you know.
oh really?
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my high school had there was a couple kids in my high school whose parents died at the Pentagon. So, like, it really affected me, you know. And I'd always kind of planned to join the military just because I wanted to like be like my father. But especially, that happened when I was 16. So, I mean, what a thing to happen to a 16-year-old boy that's already trying to join the military, you know, like, there's no way I wouldn't join the military after that.
It's kind of a perfect recipe. I remember when I saw Black Hawk Down, thinking, like, this will end anybody wanting to be in the war. And then little did I know how wrong I was. I guess video games go a long way to kind of counterbalance that, like, ultra-realistic depiction of it.
But Black Hawk Down made me want to be in a war, so
Yeah.
Oh, that's Ridley Scott.
It's weird that you took that from it, and I just took the. But again, it's because I wanted to be in a war already. That's why, you know, that quote, you know, about there being no such thing as an anti-war film, you know.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm about to die.
Oh my
You guys
god.
just made it.
Oh.
I was outside of the map.
Yeah, me too. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna
Is
be
there
able
anyone
to...
landing with us?
I'm going for this helicopter here in the port.
Oh
I can
yeah,
put up
grab
with
that. I don't think I'm gonna be able to land in the prison. Well, maybe I will. Think we'll drift there?
I think we're the only ones going there. I think
we
we're
got
gonna be
this.
alone.
We got this. And Pat's gonna meet up with us. Oh, we have a helicopter in the prison too. We got dually choppers.
Oh, yeah. The multiple chopper thing really is pretty.
Over here. Found a
I think there's one of.
I'll come get you. Or
Talking about.
All right, I'm landing and I'm gearing up.
Speaking of movies, I think one of the new Battle Pass rewards is you can play Ride of the Valkyries as a horn on your car or from your helicopter, so you can go for Apocalypse Now.
I'm mixed on that one. Only because that scene from Apocalypse Now freaks me out to want to. I don't know. I shouldn't moralize this kind of shit.
Well, I mean, like,
well, why
Apocalypse
not?
Now, like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
We've just been talking about how much like video games affect people, you know, and actually.
I don't know. I believe in art. I don't believe in censorship, and I'm worried about convincing myself to change my mind on that point. To be honest, this does seem like the kind of if art is expression, this does seem like the kind of art that could have pretty negative side effects. I definitely believe the studies that say that violent behavior video games don't seem to be connected. But it is an easy boogeyman. It's an easy belief to let yourself have.
For sure.
Yeah. I feel like our faves are. I like this. Like, yeah, like.
But this isn't really art either. This is like commercialized art, you know, commercial art maybe. Like the same amount of art as like a decorative bowl that you buy for your cereal. But
yeah,
it's not.
Maybe. Because there's still
they're both
craftsmen at work and craftswomen at work, like developers and concept artists, and that's what I find so fascinating about the moral certainty that these games have. It's because they do come from this collection of people working together, so it's not like the output can really be narrowly refined.
But it doesn't have anything to say. it says I want to be very appealing and profitable. That's it. Like that's what it says in those absurd single-player campaigns.
That's true.
That sound like CNN. It sounds like some sort of like, you know,
Objective updated.
something that might be real, but it's just like it's almost like a Mad Lib, you know.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
This is what so there's interesting stuff actually happening in the stream that I think is like tying both of what you are both saying, right? Where it's like some people are talking about
We got
how
people
it's,
coming to us this year. We got two
Okay, cool, yeah,
people that
let's-
stood up at the bottom.
Oh wait, yeah.
I'll get that second helicopter here.
Cancel my left. Contact.
Oh, they're outside. Okay. I have a
Yeah,
sniper
but
rifle.
they're just coming. We're not gonna be alone for long.
Do you want to get in the chopper and get out of here?
Yes.
I want to keep looking for guns, but
Oh, I muted my audio. That's why it's not
Outside.
working. But like yeah, like we're having like people are people are interrogating like the distinction between like high and low art, right? And is it like entertainment versus art? And there's also like this interesting question. Like so it's good to see the stuff alongside it too. We're actually like Julie's talking about like it's like war porn in an interesting way, and like a word I think about in relation to these games a lot. And actually, this someone is from the DC area. Saying that, yeah, the rumors that my MoCo, I guess Montgomery County High School, was that the National Mall was on fire and the State Department was blown up. Kids were wandering the halls sobbing because lots of people's parents worked in DC. And like, what all that together is making me think about, and what I guess another like concept I wanted to put on the table as we're talking is like the relationship of art and entertainment to like trauma, and like this idea of like kitsch, like the idea of like bad art, which is very often like associated with like fascism, right? Fascist art is kitschy, you know, like it's shallow, it's flat. Like Hitler's watercolors are kitsch, right?
George
Yeah.
Bush's paintings.
I'll pilot this bad boy.
Yeah, exactly. Like Black Velvet Elvis, but also like, you know, like that, and like it's just like it's flat, like it's not complicated, it's very simple, and like there's something about. I feel like there's something going on with the way that like these games as entertainment are. Like here, I'll give you a concrete example. Unlocking all the operators, right? And they have their individual gestures and their little cutscenes, right? There's a flag and there's fire and like cigars and shit. It's like it's both like super patriotic and ridiculous, and I can't quite tell if it's serious or not, but it's still affecting. Right? You still get pumped listening to the music, like it still looked like badass somehow. Like if it is art or entertainment, it's working on a bunch of levels at once, and a lot of it is about like repackaging trauma somehow. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like free-associating, but I was curious like if those like putting those words on the table kind of makes us think about these in a different way.
Hey!
Contract complete.
Blood armor
Got
over here.
intel secured.
Oh, C4.
Got some lethals.
Should definitely take
I'll
that
get
with
us
us.
in the air.
All right, we're a fully mechanized airborne.
Yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
aren't
We're feeling pretty
Sure.
good. Richard, do you want to fly? I'll take side, or do you want to shoot?
sure. I'm gonna put C4 on
Setting
it.
charge.
Perfect.
Oh, Zenobia's.
All right, ready.
Can you
Yes,
say
I
that
want to do
again about repackaging trauma? I was
Yeah, no, it's totally. If there's a lot, again, this is like a cognitive like marathon, right? Like there's a lot of stuff.
Talk to this
So, here I'll give another example. So what I'm thinking about is how like all these images, like the patriotism, the badass dudes, like
Class of loadout.
the cool sounds that like guns make, and like as you play with them, oh shit, someone just took a RPG shot at you. Second one coming
Oh
in.
my god, yep, they're on the balcony of that building. Get the choppers out of here. You can leave me here.
This is
They're right in this building here.
They're,
I got movement.
all right, they are on that building there. I may be able to land on top of them, clear them out. Oh shit. Okay.
I hope I'm right. Is
Yeah,
that
you want me to grab you?
Is that you shooting, Richard?
hit one.
Yeah, this is gonna be it.
All right, they're in second.
Here, I'll see.
If you can spot, Patrick.
Contact.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, there's one over there. Right, there's one in there.
Moving over here.
Oh, is that a loadout drop?
All right, I'm going to run south and try to
Enemy
flank around.
UAV overhead.
Oh my
Gas
god,
is closing.
gas is coming
Get
in.
to the new safe zone.
Like, what I wonder about, like on the trauma point, like here, let's deal with this firefight first.
Yeah. You want to pick us up?
Yeah, this is a good time. Let's not. Yeah, let's deal with these guys. It's not. We're just gonna fly away and find somebody else.
I can fly.
Enemy
Hop
UAV
in.
overhead.
Fuck!
Oh shit!
Chopper's dead.
I'm going for this SUV over here.
Yeah, grab the SUV.
Go in here. Spotter.
Then we can
No.
pull them to
Where are you going? Where are you gonna go in the SUV?
I'm driving.
That's a
away
good
from the
point,
circle.
actually.
Let's go. I'm driving.
Yeah, here, you lead. We're following you, Richard. You're in charge.
Oh, I guess the circle closes in 40 seconds. We have time.
Where are these guys? Are they in this building?
They're in one of these charming little Slavic farmhouses, yeah. And yes, I do want to do the Tom Clancy stuff I'm taking from the screen. Oh.
Taking some fire here.
Oh, fuck,
Take us out to
he's right on top of me.
328.
Right on top of me.
Okay, you got one.
Contact.
Watch it for flanks.
I'm taking fire.
I'm putting plates in.
Alright.
Closing the door.
Need more plates? Need more plates? No, you're good. Okay.
Your
Alright,
teammates
ready to
are
jump
in
that
the
car?
gulag now. If they survive, they redeploy.
Shit!
Yes.
They're still shooting at me.
Where is he?
Alright, I'm moving this way.
I see
No, I'm
movement.
moving this way.
I'm moving.
Oh my god, he came around the corner! God damn it! What bad timing.
Contact can't stay.
On me.
Alright, I won in the gulag.
Damn. Are you down too, Richard?
No, I ran away. It seems good
Okay,
though.
you did the right thing. Did the people in the chat see that? The second I pulled out my sniper rifle, dude pops his head around the corner.
This is interesting.
Russian nesting doll misfortune that play.
Okay. There's some amazing stuff happening in the stream. I'll summarize it in a second once I
Bide
click
your
you.
time. You'll be out there soon enough.
Do you remember that song? Like, there's a beautiful bit of music in Black Hawk Down. There's like a, I think it's Lisa Gerard. Yes, it's Lisa Gerard. I think it's not James Horner. It's who's that other Hans Zimmer. It's a Hans Zimmer soundtrack,
You're done.
and she is singing in a language that's. I looked up and. Yeah, it's Breton. I remember like getting really into this song in college. Like, she's singing in Breton, and it's I think the song is called "The Doors of Hell." I don't know any part of it, but like,
Back to base with you.
it's like so super beautiful, right? And then it's like juxtaposed with people getting shredded by bullets, and like
It's in the opening
crazy.
sequence, right?
That's right.
It's like one of the most
Oh, where
parodied
is
pieces
it?
of music, right? I feel like that is
Yeah,
the war music that you parody now. Is that song? Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually off the top of my head, here's like weird shit I have kicking around in my brain. I think the name of the singer whose arrangement they cover, or it's like Lisa Gerard like sings it is Denez Prangent, I think. So he's singing. I think that's Prigent. I don't remember why I remember that. I don't know, like my phone number sometimes. But anyways, yes. And I think it's about like a tower by the sea. It's like an Arthurian medieval like Breton song, but like, it's so beautiful. But and like it's like aesthetically pure and gorgeous. But then the video itself that you're seeing is completely horrifying, but also like over the top. And like that like combination of like the sublime and the ridiculous and the horrifying, it all comes together in this product that kind of draws you in. And that I think is like, yeah.
That's Ridley Scott's like his signature move. That's Ridley Scott's signature move. It's like horrifying visuals and violence and like, yeah. You see Man on Fire or like the first Alien movie. They have a lot very similar.
Oh, that was a full squad. They drove by me, saw me, stopped, reversed, got out, and murdered me.
This is when we get top 10,
All right.
right?
I think so. While we respawn, I will tell you, here's some things people are saying which are amazing. Like, a bunch of books are being recommended. I totally want to read this. Okay, Modern Warfare 2, Montgomery County, Maryland, is where the game made players defend the Burger Town. That's crazy. So Burger Town in Modern Warfare 2 is
There you go.
Wow.
amazing.
And that's where, in real life, people were very traumatized by 9/11.
There we have. Okay, that's a nice parallel to the Verdansk, Donetsk stuff. Julie, War on, War off is pointing is talking about like the gendered stuff that's going on with like some of the kid stuff, like the whole Tom of Finland thing.
You're
like,
a god. Sorry. Yes.
Oh shit!
That was awesome. That was a good kill.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're on top of it. But like, there is something going on where it's like all these badass male operators. Like, there's something very sexual about them sometimes, right? But you can't quite relate. Like, I don't know. Like, we're talking about like gender and eroticism and assassination. Someone else here is talking about. Oh, there's some great stuff happening here.
Well, I mean, it's true. These guys is price. You know, that's normally true. I think this game actually, though, this specific one has started to widen that ideal operator look a little bit to be more inclusive in a way that video games have been doing in general by including women. And I wonder if the Gamergate community realizes that when they're being represented in these games, like there's a couple operators, I don't know their names, but they look more like regular people. They look more like than like really ripped, square-jawed GI Joes, and yeah. So I just wonder if people realize that their non-operator bodies are being included in the ones who don't like in the games.
I've noticed that as well. Also, have you ever like ventured into the cosmetics store? Looked at some of the calling cards?
Yeah.
I feel like that's where the the eroticism definitely comes into play. Like, I can't count the number of times I've been murdered, and then the little calling card comes up, and it's like, yeah, it's stuff.
It's like an
Mine
anime.
used to be mine used to be an anime girl. It was just her legs.
Yes, with the skirt like blowing in the wind. I want to buy that
blowing in the wind
because it's so
yeah,
jarring.
I have that one.
The game's
they
so.
Should add that
visceral.
for this game though, where I can trade it. We can trade them and stuff. They need that.
We were talking about World War II earlier. I'm thinking now about like all the like the Vargas girls that they would paint on the fuselages. Right, so like you'd have like the flying fortress that's like firebombing Dresden, and then there's just like a hot lady on the side of it. Like
it's a little bit different though, because maybe it's not that different actually. If you think about the traditional gaming community, but like that was definitely like pinup girls like in World War II. I'm sure were like very eroticized, like more than you can even imagine. Like it was probably like very titillizing. Back then for those guys who were like removed from women and not even exposed to kind of hardcore pornography that today's soldiers are. Like especially because I remember being deployed and being like just very excited by Maxims and For Him magazine, because like pornography was banned and that's really all you had.
Right.
So like even though it's similar, like having these like waifu skins on your guns and whatnot, it's still not exactly the same. I guess I'm saying that from like the point of view of like a cranky vet though, right? Like it's not the same.
I feel like maybe. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You won't get it.
Go ahead. Go for that.
I'll say that the purpose seems to be different though. I feel like the waifu skins, it's less about like titillation and more about counterculture. Or there's something about like, look at me, I'm not fitting in about that whole look. That like I don't care about the whole waifu thing, but I totally want that skin. It's just funny. It's funny.
No, you're right. Yeah. That's good. And I don't know where. Oh my god! I opened the door and someone shot at it. I'm gonna run away. I don't even know how I got here.
My god.
I don't remember the last 2 minutes.
You'll win. Just pistol
Just
whistle.
blacked out, I think.
This is where the lack of audio is going to be insane. Oh
my gosh, there's more! I'm looking at a rock and a hard place, fellas.
Woo!
Oh shit! I keep on having to restart my computer because like there's some odd synergy happening. Yeah, but here people are saying amazing things. I just lost all the chat, but like recommending books and talking about like everything from Tom Clancy to the aestheticization of Tom of Finland. Like Tom Clancy to Tom of Finland. There you go. It's a good like episode title. But like I'm thinking about the waifu thing, and I'm like, okay, like maybe the anime thing is different, but then I'm immediately remembering that there are a lot of like P-51 Mustang with Betty Boop on them, and now I'm like,
Oh.
I don't know.
That's true. Good point.
Like,
Shorthand.
I'm not.
Almost iconic. Yeah.
I'm not quite saying like Betty Boop is like it's quite the hentai 4chan space, but I don't know. Maybe some things don't change. Did you know? I have a book here, so I'll have to dig it out when the camera's working again. But the Nazis would paint. A lot of Nazis would paint Mickey Mouse on their like tanks and planes. That was like a thing.
No, I didn't know that. That's so funny.
Let me see if I can find it. I would copy this thing behind me somewhere.
That's something like 16-year-old me would have drawn a comic about, thinking I was being so edgy.
There are definitely a couple of them. Like it's in one of these crazy like psychoanalysis.
Oh shit! Is that the
workbooks
gas?
I have here. Oh, here. Or you've got like Messerschmitts with like Steamboat Willie on them and shit. It's pretty wild.
Oh, there's a guy right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, two of them.
I don't have a gun, fellas.
Yeah, you don't have to fight. You're
Yeah,
right.
it does exist. Yeah.
You got a grenade you can throw on the grill. Wow.
Yes, MP
Oh!
Kevin, I'm saved.
Guys, I'm religious again.
That's all I need.
Oh, drop a grenade on his ass. Yeah.
Nice.
Saw that? Oof, oof, oof. Yes. No!
I'm thirsty.
Oh, no, you did the right thing. It was all lined up perfectly, and then that one guy on the roof.
I lost some of the chat stuff, but someone was like sharing stuff by the philosopher and literary critic Susan Buck Morris, and she has this idea. I'm drawing this memory from what was saying here, where it's like it's a pun on like an space aesthetic, like aesthetic, and anesthetic as like the thing that numbs you, and this relationship between like the work of entertainment or work of art as like metabolizing or processing horrible stuff somehow. I think that may be part of what makes this game so like compelling somehow.
Yeah, that chat sounds amazing. I wish I could see it. That's that's really interesting. That really speaks to me because I think not even personally, but just like we as a culture, as an American culture, have been exposed to so much grotesque violence over the last 20 years that these games, like, if you kind of normalize it and sort of like by playing it and just it sort of makes it like not as grotesque, so it is sort of a numbing style of aesthetic, because it makes the actual grotesque violence we see on the news and whatnot easier for our brains to like process by giving us more of it, right?
So, War on, War off. It mentions that Paul Tibbets named the B-29 that nuked Hiroshima after his mother, Enola Gay, which I did not know. That's
Great Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's some psychosexual stuff right there. Jesus Christ. And also, we have like the mother of all bombs. God, that's. Oh, actually, I didn't. The word for. Okay, we're all in here. Good. Did you know that like one of the etymologies? Like, no one knows the etymology for gun, but it may come from a Germanic, like, from a woman's name.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I knew a Turkish woman named Goon. G-U-N.
That actually may be.
So you had an umlaut over there.
I mean, so like the first. I read a couple books for the book I'm writing now, right? And about like early firearms history, and no one knows where gun comes from, but it appears to come from the Turks and then the Germans, right, by way of like all these like.
Oh, we should be jumping. We got a long
and
ways
like
to go.
we're going where people would like name cannons. right? So because you only like in the early infantry period, like in the early modern period, where you'd only have a couple cannons, each one would have a name, and I guess much like boats, they were traditionally named after women. And so there are a couple of Germanic names like Gunhilda or something. I'm making some shit like that, but also presumably I imagine the Ottoman Turkish. But yeah, like the word that we have for a firearm is initially a woman's name applied to those devices, or at least plausibly, which is very strange. And gunner is coming back as a name in the U.S. too, like Gunnar, like going full Norse, like it's yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I met a shooter the other day.
Oh really?
Yeah. There's and Hunter's been popular for a long time.
Hunter's a big one, yeah. Trucker is Tucker and Trucker, yeah.
Oh, I just picked up a contract.
I'm being shot. Why is this happening? Why can't we get a break?
Where are you?
Oh,
Alright,
we're coming for you.
I see you. Can you ping where they are? Oh.
On me.
Oh, moving.
Thank you.
Oh, damn.
Enemy!
Watch out, he just opened legendary box.
Uh-oh. Yes. Oh yeah, burger. The one thing I noticed,
we keep messing up. We keep landing while we're in the middle of a conversation. We don't know what we're getting ourselves into.
We can't let this happen. We're next reboot. Next restart. We're just gonna focus. We're gonna be tier 1 operators all the way. Like apparently someone's quoting promotional art from the Medal of Honor series. Like apparently one of the Medal of Honor Warfighter was advertised as being, what's the line here, written by tier 1 operators who deployed overseas. Like, that's how they sold the game, so...
On me. This guy's out me back.
Oh, shit! Oh, wow, so you can pick up this, like, a straight-up Benelli Supernova, right? Yeah, these are just, like, these guns are all
Mount Davis, I knew a guy named Marksman who went by Mark. That's actually kind of funny, I kind of like that.
Davis.
Marksman.
Marksman. That's amazing.
My name is Sniper Dan, but I just go by Sniper. Come on. Yeah! Alright. Richard, you're coming back. Pat can read comments in prison.
Did anyone play Full Spectrum Warrior?
Done.
I never played that one.
Full Spectrum Warrior, no.
No.
Did you guys ever play Soldier of Fortune?
No.
Yes.
Do you remember Soldier of Fortune, that gore fest? Man,
It was so violent.
So violent. I love
that was its big appeal, is that you could like shoot someone in the face, and depending on where you shot them, like their skull would crack there, and like
you could like shoot people's eyes out. Yeah, that was a nasty fucking game. I remember loving it when I was like 13 and playing it though. I wasn't allowed to listen to like music with naughty language in it, but I was allowed to play Soldier of Fortune.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know if people played SOCOM. I didn't even realize that there was SOCOM. Okay.
Yeah, I played a lot of SOCOM.
No, I didn't have a PlayStation. I never played that, but my friend told me about it. I remember the way my friend in high school told me about that game too.
Oh yeah.
He was trying to sell it to me. Yeah. He was trying to tell me how good it was. Yeah, he told me that the bullet mechanics, like the physics of the game, were gonna be so good. Then he gave like some example of like, you know, the bullet mechanics that would be really cool.
There's 2 guys across the road, 3 guys across. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I see him running across the hill here.
Yep.
I don't have a gun. I'm gonna go look for a gun.
Oh yeah, I can drop you one. Although you know what, I only have a shotgun to drop you. That's not gonna do any good.
But I remember him telling. This is a non-tech, you know, not here or there, but I remember him telling me that in SOCOM you could shoot someone's dick off and on a campfire, and you would watch it roast in real time. Which seems like absurd, but it also seems kind of something that's like maybe you could almost do in Red Dead Redemption 2 these days, you know?
Yeah. Also, the sniper games. Have you played any of the Sniper Ghost Warrior, and then there's a Sniper Elite?
Sniper Elite has the slow motion. Yeah.
And like you'll get it's like VATS, like the whole like gibbets thing from like Fallout 3 in New Vegas, except also you'll get like the X-ray vision of like a person's nervous system, and like it'll give you like Grey's Anatomy style layers of. So that you'll see the bullet enter, and you'll see it fragment, and you'll see like their eyes pop out of the socket, and like, yeah. I downloaded a couple of these to play on the stream, but like they're also really hard because like the bullet drop mechanics, I don't understand how to do them, but like, yeah, people really luxuriate in like a particular thing of like sniping someone, which is interesting. Like the sniper fetish.
Yeah, and it's so weird because I think it's fun in games and stuff, but I was even in an infantry unit, that had a sniper section, and I just don't think that is a fun job. Even if you like the idea of killing people, like the idea of in real life, like you have to walk a really long distance, with a lot of gear, like really long, and then you have to like lie down and not move. It just seems really boring.
It is a job that's really fetishized, though. The sniper is right up there with
For sure,
most of
yeah.
special forces. Yeah, it's like that man of patience. Cool. It's like the scariest thing is a disciplined man with patience.
Oh, yeah.
It feels very like yes. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was speaking stereotypically. If this was Russia, it would have been woman with patience. Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
No, you're right. So the best snipers have been women, right? Like that's.
Yeah, disciplined patience. Yeah.
I think on all these like sniper movies, right, and like the Ryan Felipe sniper TV series, right? The what was it called? I've seen all of them, but it's like he plays it. His name is Bobby Lee Swagger in the series. Shooter.
Yeah, Bobby Lee Swagger.
His name is Bobby Lee Swagger. At some point, they casually say that he has 450 sniper kills, that's a number.
What does Carlos Hathcock have? Like 170? Something like that?
There was a sniper in Finnish sniper in World War II that had a... Gosh, I think he's supposed to be one of the most prolific. I think he had a couple hundred, maybe more.
That's right.
Killing Soviets. Which I guess makes him a Nazi, kind of, or at least Nazi adjacent.
Yeah, the Finnish definitely are like, yeah. Like, there's something very, like, I feel like there's something very, like, in the American context about it that's, like, very, like, settler, right? It's like, very, like James Fenimore Cooper, Last of the Mohicans.
The Black Race.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, goodbye, yeah. Do it. But it's like there's a lot of like it's like this whole idea like that you're like hunting people and like you're in the environment, you're embedded in nature, and like you're somehow like different from it in this way, right? But like you're somehow like a part of the landscape, but not and superior to it, and you can like reach out in this like these incredibly long distances and just kill somebody while also being both in danger but safe and not. Like, it combines a lot of things all at once in a way that I guess is very seductive for people.
And it's insane. It's truly insane. Like, what are you describing? You're describing someone who goes to all that effort to kill someone in cold blood they've never met and have no quarrel with. Like.
Nonlinear dynamics just made the same point in chat. Sniper fetish may have something to do with the ability to be extremely close to and yet still removed from the site of committing the violence. Ability/experience. And GTFL points out that Finnish sniper is fetishized by a lot of neo-Nazis and anti-communist nationalists.
By that.
Well, sorry for bringing them up.
No, I mean it's
worth knowing history. Yeah, it's worth knowing history.
That's what we're like. And like I haven't seen the American Sniper movie. Like I don't know.
Zenobius points out the American sniper fascination probably also has something to do with long rifles and Revolutionary War narratives about militia.
Simo.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. The optics of it.
It's like I was reading like what's the book? John Grenier, the military historian, has this whole thing basically on like what he calls like America's first wave war. Are you guys familiar with this? I don't want to like.
No.
It's like a settler. So like his whole thing is like, I think he's taught at West Point. I'll put a lecture of his on the Discord. It's very interesting stuff. But like his whole thing is like, is there an authentically or originally American way of doing combat, right? Or like a military doctrine or like an emergent, like not the formalized one. And he goes back to the sources, like British colonial sources, but also reads a lot about like what the French sort of trappers and like all these like paramilitaries are doing and what this like what's emerging in the North American continent. And it's like essentially like there are a bunch of things that he sort of like unpacks, but the first bit of it is that there's there are military theorists in the period who, actually British and French, who are both talking about like what the British will sometimes call savage war, right? But also we'll use the French like petit guerre, like little war, which is also like what we use Spanish guerrilla for. And it's basically
Counterinsurgency.
exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's like you're instead of moving in ranks of redcoats and fucking like Minutemen, you're like taking cover and you're picking your shots and you have a rifled barrel as opposed to just a straight smoothbore musket. But also, and this is like Grenier's interesting thing where he's like, it's also all about burning crops and killing women and children, and like it's about doing ethnic cleansing, right? And it's about disproportional collective punishment. It's about like horrific acts of violence, like war crimes, basically nonstop war crimes, right? Before that, and so his whole thing is like, and it's very weird to watch Grenier give these lectures because you can see him at the Army War College or like Navy War College or whatever, like giving these lectures, and he's like, yeah, this is actually the classic way of war. And so when Americans are doing like drone strikes that kill civilians or take out a whole like a triple tap wedding party or whatever, like that's the original American way of war. That we mistakenly think that the way Americans do war in like some essential sense is World War II set piece battles, but in fact, like what the deepest like atavistic like substrate of American warfighting is essentially counterinsurgency warfare. Which seems to track. Yeah. Seems to track.
Wow, and that's interesting too because, I mean, what you're describing as counterinsurgency warfare, like, there's different schools of thought, and I mean, as you know, I'm sure, like, different schools of thought in there too, like among like the great powers, like we're doing counterinsurgency stuff as they were growing their empires, but like, or at least trying to maintain them as they were. But like the French style being, the French style and the considered being, markedly more violent than the English style or American style, Russian style being much rougher than the English style or American style. So it's just interesting that like Americans see themselves as like the tempered ones from that World War II lineage, and from that British lineage. But maybe it's not true, it's not reflective of reality.
Did you was like coin a buzzword when you were overseas? Was like that, like I guess like 2000s, like we one of our first readings. So like, did people like give trainings on this? I don't want to. How did that work out? Like,
sure. I mean, so my National Guard unit was supposed to deploy to Afghanistan. So we got mobilized and we went to a mobilization site in Mississippi for 3 months to learn how to fight the coin war in Afghanistan. 11. So right at the peak of that going on. So we were trained by Army trainers, basically NCOs who had a city assignment to go train National Guard soldiers for war in rural Mississippi. I don't think anyone was too happy to be there. It's like, but yeah, we would go out and we would go live on a fake combat outpost, like a little area surrounded by earthen barriers and a few tents, and we would live out there, and then we would go during the day, go do raids, and we would learn how to do raids and learn how to do. I guess raids aren't so much counterinsurgency, but they are in the real sense, like we're describing, right? So that was part of it, and then we also learned how to do these things called key leader engagements, and that was the coin aspect. That was learning the company, learning everyone, the whole company, like from the commander and platoon leaders, on down to the infantry front, but just the E2 just providing security. go out and we would go to a fake village that would have role players in it from the community who were brown skinned, maybe not necessarily Afghans at all, you know,
Right.
but kind of looked the part. And we would practice, you know, coming into their village very hard, you know, rolling in deep with a lot of guys with vehicles and guns and stuff, and then getting out and while all your security, all your junior enlisted guys, NCOs are out there securing everything like the way they're trained to do, which is very rough and whatnot. The commander goes into the town leader's hut and talk with them.
Oh wow.
Damn, I
With their
thought you
helmet
had
off
it.
and stuff, and learns how to practice acting like being supportive but not promising anything, you know. And,
Right.
everyone else learns how to, you know, not shoot at civilians. Like, that guy looks suspicious, but he's not. But did he do anything? Like, don't shoot him. Or that guy is suspicious. Look, see, he has a gun. Shoot him. You know, like, learn who to kill in a environment like that. You know, so that's your coin training. So it's kind of it's kind of absurd.
That's got to be real. Like, and how long? Like,
You also get some cultural training too, like some cultural
Right.
background on Islam and Afghanistan, and even we even got a little bit of Dari, you know, even just an infantry guy, you know, infantry private or you know a mortarman got a 2-hour lesson in Dari.
really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dari it's like mutually intelligible with Persian. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Working with the locals like that, that's always really interesting for me to hear about. I always try to put my head in their shoes and imagine if another military force is training with me as the object against which they're training. It's just an interesting dynamic there.
Right, and I talked to all of them because I was interested in that. No, I didn't talk to all of them, but I talked to them.
Yeah.
You know, interested in that, and I asked them just like, you know, where you guys live here? Like, what do you? Is this your full-time job? Like,
Yeah.
and they were all like doing it for like extra money, and they were all. A lot of them were actually Afghans who had come over, who had lived in Afghanistan and had come over. They were interpreters or something over in Afghanistan, and now they were resettled in America, and they were doing this.
Check your gear.
So I thought that was really interesting because they actually were those people, you know, like that's really, yeah. I just can't imagine how surreal that is for them. But also, like, you just do the things you have to do to, you know, provide for your family and be comfortable in security too, you know. So like, what do we do to compromise ourselves to do that same thing? It's just, I don't know, it's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm thinking that there's a parallel here going on too between like the virtual recreation of a battle space stateside with people who are quote unquote locals but now are immigrants or refugees or both, right? And that becomes like a training space for in the flesh for soldiers. Like there's something interesting about like what the virtual means and what the real means in that, and that's also going on in these games too in a different way, right? Like this, like I don't know, like this idea of like training and preparation and exposure, but also like here I'll tell you the other thing I'm thinking about here. It's a weird thing, but like advice.
Can I get pause?
Yeah, let's take a pause and let's do some pre-game stuff.
Yeah, let's get our feet on the ground, and then I want to pick up right now. Yeah.
We want to go. So we want to be by ourselves. So we want to give ourselves
Gas
an
is closing
opportunity
in
to
your position. Suggest you get moving.
live for a little
We could do like stadium. There's not usually a lot of action around there, is there?
There usually is. How about this past stadium?
Let's do there. That's a good
Yeah,
call.
I'm game.
This area could work. Ignore that. Yep, I'll take it.
All right.
As we all desperately try to make the same thing. All right, out we go.
There, yeah.
Here we go.
All right. Cool. I remember reading about this like in 2014 or something, where it's like you could do. I think it may have actually been in Wisconsin or maybe Minnesota, where you could do. There was like a paintball facility type thing that had rebuilt a copy, or like what they claimed was a copy of the Bin Laden compound in Abbottabad.
What?
And
Oh wow.
and yeah, and you could pay money for them, and they would like,
Oh no! Really?
you could, yeah, and you could do a raid, and you could, and like it was like they'd spend money. I don't know if they actually had a chopper involved, or if like they would get like just like bring you in like an MRAP or some crazy like kitted up like monster truck, whatever the fuck it was. But like they would like give you night vision, and you would do the Zero Dark 30 raid with paintball.
Hey, we got a
weapons.
squad going now. We could probably
You
move
want to go
like
to the?
here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Thinking the same thing. Yep. Go to the.
Hey, I'm
Yep.
moving-
We're all there.
Light vehicle here.
But like, so people were
Keep going.
wanting to kill Bin Laden with paintball guns, and I really want. I pitched like I really wanted to interview because like they actually had a guy who was a Bin Laden lookalike. And in the articles, I could never find out what like his ethnicity or background was, but who basically like every night would pretend for a job would be Bin Laden, and people would come in and fuck him up with paintball. And but like I remember reading a couple like what I mean, yeah, like you gotta provide for your family, right? But like someone was like saying, like I remember reading like one of these articles where like a lot of the people who were doing this, like they would have ex special forces types like give you the training, so it's like you'd get like the mission briefing, and like but people would have like emotional breakdowns doing this.
I hear
Right?
another. I think I hear another person inside the firehouse. Just FYI. Wait, people are having emotional breakdowns playing paintball?
Well, but also it's the middle of the night and you have to kill Osama bin Laden, right? And like a lot of these people, you know, I don't know like what their breakdown was, but like they would, like I remember, if memory serves, one of these things, because all these little short pieces about it, like you'd have to restrain them because like someone would try to just like actually try to physically attack this guy with their bare hands as opposed to with just their paintballs. I'm like I don't even know.
When was the last like national boogeyman that was bigger than Bin Laden? Hitler, like post-Hitler, pre-Bin Laden. What's the boogeyman? Gorbachev?
No, like Manuel Noriega briefly, but not even like yeah. There's no other.
Hanoi Jane.
There you go, Hanoi Jane. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one too, where it's yeah. I definitely been in gun shops and like have heard young men who are in their 20s talking. I remember I was actually it was a fucking Cabela's in Oregon, and there were a bunch of dudes like 2006 maybe, and there were a bunch of dudes just like fucking with a Barrett that was on sale for $3,000 because I guess why not? And they were like, yeah, I could totally take out Hanoi Jane with this. I'm like, dude.
I got contact here to
All right. See it. I'm going in. I'm gonna hunker down inside.
90 meters. I only see one.
Looking at 201. 201.
These are guys hunting you.
Yeah, I see it.
I'm at the top of the tower and laying down.
I just downed one.
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
Or was he right on top of you?
Yeah, I just got smoked by. Oh my god!
Yeah, we got another squad just right up here. We got another squad just right up into the mix. Oh my kill.
We will never get a break. This is
okay.
Price down one.
Put a round through me.
Did you ping him? Did you or what direction?
I downed him. I pinged him. He's 19 direction south, due south.
Your teammate is in the gulag now.
Gotcha.
If they survive, then they deploy.
Oh, I killed the one that you downed. I took him out.
No, he's still moving. No, he's still moving.
Fuck! Somebody came up the stairs right on top of me. God damn it! I'm here for your entertainment. You're welcome.
I got killed in the gulag. I'll be right back.
The one I went into a spot where there was a ladder because I knew all I had to do was look at this ladder, and I will stay alive. And I failed at that somehow.
Oh damn! I'm dead too.
Down two.
Above me somehow. Oh, he came up into he climbed the tower and jumped down from above me.
Survive and you can redeploy.
We cannot catch a break.
Dude, I feel like we're being bad teammates.
Is everyone much better? Are we just too distracted with this talking?
It could be. Also, you know what? It is Friday night. I feel like this is when
Here and you return to the front line.
people
The
that take this
sweats are all on.
game very people that take this game very
Beat them
seriously.
down or capture the objective.
I'm getting myself.
Alright, I won.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Stand by for redeployment.
I'm when I was in high school, I played a lot of paintball, and there was one spot in very rural Pennsylvania where a guy built a recreation of a village in Vietnam that you could take turns raiding. They wouldn't hire like lookalikes or anything like that. Though. They would just have one team would play the Vietnamese, and the other teams would play the Americans, and you would take turns raiding a village.
Ah, damn.
Damn. All right, I'll see if I can get some cash.
All up to you.
No promise.
Well, that thing about role players and stuff, and role playing Obama night after night, or not Obama, Osama night after night.
Yeah.
Like I remember during one of the like training raids we were doing before, you know, when we were training to deploy. Like I remember going to a little village, and we're doing a high value target raid, and so we go into a house and we were practicing like, you know, clearing the house like room to room, you know, from bottom floor to top floor, finding the high value target, you know, getting them out, getting back in the trucks, driving away, you know. And my job was just to get out of the truck and to like, I was one of the first in, so go in and clear one of the first rooms and to stand there until everything else is done, you know. And I remember like going in, it's exciting, right? You're one of the first ones in, you don't know what's behind there, you don't know if you get to shoot somebody, like even for training, you know, it's fun, big paintball, right? Shoot somebody or whatever, and go in, and I remember going in, and there was a guy sitting on, like an Afghan looking guy, you know, he was an older guy, middle-aged, you know, kind of heavy set with a beard, and he was sitting on his couch in this little room, and this house is like made out of storage containers, you know, what they look like. House, like, couple floors and stuff. He's just sitting in the room in the couch, and I yell at him. I put my gun at him, and I yell at him to get on the ground. And the look he gave me was just like, he's been doing that all day, right? And maybe all month, and he just looked at me like he's just so tired. just like did not want to be doing that, you know. And I remember just like
today.
Yeah. But it's like, and with me, you know, that's not okay for me. Like I gotta, you know, yell at this guy and get him on the ground. Like this is my job right now.
Right, you have a job to do, just like he has a job to do.
Yeah, so I'm like, but I really did feel bad, and I remember like thinking like, gosh, like, you know,
what should I be doing here?
You know,
I'm not seeing any opportunity to collect cash. I'm gonna have to move away.
Marking new safe zone.
I hear footsteps.
I swear to God, I hear footsteps.
Yep, he's below you. Two of them, at least. I saw a third one from there, due southwest.
Wait,
behind you.
Ah! Alright. That's 2 times in this game that I was looking in the opposite direction of the one entry point.
Paintball ID.
Wait, what did we place? 35th? Oofa doofa.
Okay. Yes, it's Burgergrad. Okay, people are calling it. Yeah. Sorry, I had to. One thing I'm thinking about is I'm just like reading what's happening in the chat and also talking. It's like thinking about like the Bin Laden thing too. It's like, and people are quoting like the Luz in the stream. Like again, like the stream is amazing. What's happening with chat?
Seriously.
But like, part of like what I remember thinking about with the whole people wanting to go kill Bin Laden themselves was how that was like presented as like the whole. I remember like going into the when the war on terror started. It was like, well, we're gonna get this guy, right? And it was never like, on the one hand, there were the towers falling and the attack on the Pentagon, which was so like media was everywhere. It was so over the top. But then he was just killed quietly and dumped in the ocean, right? So it felt like there was like this like lack of
Closure.
Yeah, there wasn't a closure in this way. Or again, like this is like an aesthetic category. Like I'm assuming like it's going to be like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where it's like you kill the bad guy at the end, right? And you see, but like something about like this weird mismatch between everything being so in your face and horrifying going into it, but then there never really is an end.
I mean, who didn't watch the video of Saddam being hung?
Yeah. I could only watch that once, honestly. I think I've only ever seen that once.
Same.
Fugitive Hunt. Wait, there was a game called Fugitive Hunter: War on Terror for the PS2 where you actually killed Bin Laden with your bare hands.
Really?
But like, I think like fuck me. I would think like Baudrillard, like the French like philosopher theorist, has this line about like how like the first Gulf War didn't happen, right? Which is of course like the only thing something you can say if you're not like if you're not an Iraqi on the highway of death, right? But like, I mean, like I presume like the way he means it is like for people who are in like the imperial corps, right, or not in the actual war zone, you just have the grainy night vision stuff. And I remember that one video of like, or like the two of them, like one of Tomahawk missiles taking off, and the other was of like a missile coming down a chimney. But I never. It was like unreal somehow.
I'm putting. Sorry. Keep going.
No, go ahead.
No, I interrupted, please.
But there's something like about like the trauma of 9/11 that was like you couldn't not see it, like it came here, you know, in the core, and that nothing that there's some basic way in which like nothing that could happen on the periphery would ever be equivalently dramatic to what happened in the core because it was in the core.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Right? And that just seems like an interesting. Like, do you remember Shock and Awe and when we were supposed to like do Shock and Awe?
It was shocking.
Oh here! Oh shit! I got booted. Oh damn it! So I remember staying up on. I remember like when Cheney announced Shock and Awe, right? Rather, Rumsfeld announced Shock and Awe. I remember being like, "Well, I need to see this." Right? I was in college. It's just like I turned on the TV. And I just watched.
Pat. Yeah.
There we go. I just watched grainy footage of Baghdad skyline, waiting for something to like happen.
Yeah, me too.
And
I did the same thing.
Yeah, like I stayed up all night, right? Like, and nothing happened. Like it didn't. I was expecting like the Death Star or something, right?
And it was just little light spots and. You know.
Hey, Pat, I think you got thrown out again.
Oh. Here I come. It's pushing an update. I'm rejoining you now.
Awesome.
But yeah, like I was in retrospect, I realized I was probably waiting to see like a 9/11 over there, which is a fucked up thing to even think. But that like that was. Yeah. But like I was like the other thing I'm thinking about too is like how these games are all about like, and this like I guess like we can as we ease into our second and a half hour here, but like a lot of these games are about like where war is supposed to happen, right? And like the war is always happening in this place that looks like Afghanistan, looks like Iran, looks like Iraq, whatever. But like then there are always the little bits where it's like we don't want war to happen in Piccadilly Circus or Burger Town or Bethesda or Nuketown or whatever it is, right? And I feel like that like the terror of war happening in the core. And the expectation that it should happen in the periphery, like
wait, don't accept that invite. You just need to join our game. I'm sorry, I sent you the wrong invite.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I will join you in. Yes, joining you now. Cool. Here I am.
All right, sorry. Keep going.
No, I just feel like a lot of these games are about like this. This whole series is about like navigating that. Like, there's something where it's like you can't. There's never going to be a satisfying quote unquote end to the war on terror, right? So at least you get to play it over and over again on your Xbox. But like he now lives in a European country where there's some like gun, I guess, rights, I guess you'd call them, but like he goes shooting occasionally with other relatives who've never left there, and they're all like horrified by how rapidly he goes through ammo. And they're just like this. Like, why are you shooting so fast? Like, ammo is expensive. Like, what's the? And I feel like I definitely had friends who were vets who were like, well, you know, when you're in the military pays for the ammo, which feels like part of the package at that point, where it's like you get to. I don't know. I imagine like shooting guns in that type of, like I've only fired like fully automatic weapons like a couple times. Like I paid a good deal of money for it. Like I've never had the experience of just like doing that in that kind of way. like in a training space. But like I imagine that's got to be a feeling of like power and control and of like a lot of interesting things all at once.
Absolutely, and the ammo thing too. Not only do you get just like you don't pay for ammo and there's tons of it, but also especially in the Army, like there's frequently more ammo than you can shoot, and you actually will end up leaving a range that they're just firing ammo off.
Check weapons and gear. We're holding for the
blindly out into space, just as fast as you can, just having fun, because you don't go through all the ammo that I don't know why. That's an officer, I guess, why that happens. They always bring more actually need, and we can't. We could bring it back, but they don't want us to get back into the arm. Or sometimes not even shooting it off. Sometimes just jumping into the woods in the back of a 5-ton truck.
Wow.
While you're driving down the road, and the ranges are always in the big empty parts of the base. So.
The real fight begins now.
Wow. That's interesting.
GFTL says their grandfather was an artillerist in the Red Army. He was selected because he was good at math to calculate trajectories in his head on the go. We also in the comments mentioned that they were able to do those kinds of calculations. It's wild.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Battle Royale.
I had a friend who was deployed in the DMZ in South Korea, and he trained with, I guess they call them like the Korean Rock Marines or whatever they are. I don't like.
Yeah.
Like
well, Republic of Korea.
Alright.
Rock.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's already out.
Oh man! Oh fuck! I fell out. See, y'all keep going. This is me just being an idiot and falling out of the plane. I could get there. But also, like, they were like, I remember, like, they were like repelling, like they were like mountain troops or something. Like their whole thing was like they could like climb down these and he was like, but he was describing how like when they would go shooting with them, the Korean officers would make sure that everyone like they would do a meticulous accounting for all the brass that they spent. Like you have to pick up all the cartridges and then they'd add it up so that it wasn't like I think they were terrified of the idea that live ammo would get not used and then wind its way off base. So they would literally, at the end of every one of these training sessions, go around and, like, with brooms, and they count all the spent casings and be like, okay, there's none left. And it seems like totally different, and it seems like a very different way of relating to, like, resources and the world in some ways. I don't know.
We had to do that too, though. Actually, not for maybe not the same reason, but we had to pick up all our spent brass.
Right.
And they would like weigh it, and they would say, no, people. Basically, they wanted you to pick up the brass, not. It wasn't really account. Just so it wasn't out. I think it was more for environmental reasons, honestly.
That makes sense. I remember fairly recently on like military Twitter to the extent like I was like following it for this maybe 2-3 months ago. Like it was right before a holiday weekend where some some people lost a rifle, and this became like a giant thing. Do you remember this brief, like, it went very viral where it was like, oh, these guys are never getting off base until they find their rifle, and he sounded hellish.
I don't remember that, no. But yeah, when you lose things in the military, it's a nightmare, especially again in the Army. The Air Force and the Army are very different culture-wise. In the Army, yeah, when something loses something, like, everyone gets punished, everyone gets locked down, everyone, you have to, I don't know how many times, you're just stuck somewhere for hours, going through just emptying everything the Army has given you on someone comes by and like flips it all to make sure you don't have the missing thing. Crazy.
I'll paint the other one. There are two of them right there. Up. There's one.
Enemy here.
And then the other one. Let me see if I can just fuck this. Oh, down with the helicopter blade. Oh yes. There we go.
That was nice. Finally, we gave them something to look at. These quick
there we go.
Watchers.
You're finally some gameplay. All right,
we finally did something awesome.
Oh wait, here, Pat, do you need armor?
Yes, I do.
Let's just keep doing that. Let's keep communicating and keep killing people that are in our way.
Okay, yeah.
What a novel idea.
We're transitioning into mode where we're really going like the conversation is happening independently in this room chat, which is great. So we can also like just do the game thing.
I just heard him say that somebody's near us, but I'm not seeing it. Did either of you play Delta Force?
I didn't play that one. Did anyone play Operation Flashpoint? That was very formative for me.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
I think I tried to once, and it was like too tactical for me. I
was
I couldn't sink my teeth
into
into
that
it.
in high school. I was obsessed with it. Gosh.
Yeah, I'd like to get something better than this FAL. Not that it isn't a classic weapon.
Will you use it? Do you think
Enemy
you will
UAV overhead.
fail?
Right arm of the free world, I think, right? It's a classic NATO battle rifle.
Very Cold War.
I've never fired one. Have you shot one? I've never had that.
No.
There's a whole weird culture of like FAL enthusiasts on a bunch of like the gun blogs that I follow, and like they're very like also into Rhodesia because I guess like that's the which of course like you know what we're talking about here, right? Like it's like, but like people spend a lot of fucking money on FALs that are kitted up to look like Sealess Scout battle rifles, and like that's creepy as shit. Yeah.
Sure is.
All right.
Okay, we're doing good, guys. Look at us. We got fat. Well, we got
Nice.
a lot of cash. We got some weapons. Let's go to a buy station.
Yeah, let's do that. Looks like we're looking
What?
at one here.
If you need
I
something,
want
talk
to
to
go
this
back
vendor.
that way.
If you need something, talk to this vendor.
Yeah, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's go to this.
I'm not sure. What does this crown icon do? Do you all? It's a most wanted.
No, don't get it.
No,
Don't get it.
no, I'm not going to do
Don't
that.
look-
No. Do not want that. Good call.
Yeah, I got that the last game, and we got destroyed pretty much immediately.
And they came for us.
Yeah. No vehicles?
I'll drive. Get in.
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Thank you, sir.
Save me
On my way.
Drive by with an RPG is crazy.
Man, it's a goofy gun I got here. An MMG with a clip-loaded or a magazine fed instead of a drum.
But what is that? Which one is that?
I'm not sure.
We lost Richard in the audio chat.
Oh yeah, look at that.
We'll hear what we'll say.
He's still doing a very good job driving.
Yeah, he's calling the shots here. We'll see how this works. Oh no! What?
GFTL says, it's interesting to follow gun discussions on multiplayer shooter game forums because some guns have rabid fan bases that will spend so much time hating on developers that their favorite guns don't get to be as powerful as they quote-unquote deserve to be.
Yeah.
Isn't the idea of a gun deserving something? I remember when I was a kid, my friends like put racial attributes onto weapons. Like the AK-47 was not an American gun. That was like very much coded to be like a brown gun kind of a thing.
Well, here's because I actually
The M16 and the AR-15 are the American guns. Yes.
There's a specific line here where
we're jumping out. We're jumping out.
Oh, here we go. I won't go for the book yet. Richard. Oh no, we've lost Richard's audio. But yeah, there's a line in this Patrick Sweeney's book. It's like these gun digest books on like the AR-15 are great. But he's got a line there being like, when you see a picture of people with AK-47s, you know there is something wrong here.
Yes.
And
exactly.
I'm like, okay, that's what that means, right? Yeah.
It's like in a 90s action movie when your hero meets somebody with like a lisp or something like that, and suddenly you know, like, oh, there's the villain of the movie.
Yep.
The shorthand.
Oh, we lost Richard's audio here. Let's see. Yep, that's exactly right. Yep, that's exactly right. On the gun, like sort of thing.
I wonder if there are. Oh, it looks like he's AFK. He's fixing his stuff. I think we should probably just protect him.
We'll just cover him. Yeah, we got you covered, Richard.
I got movement.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Enemy UAV.
Coming down, coming down. Let's see.
Trophy system set.
Is he here? Okay.
Yeah, he's right here in the stairs. I pinged him.
Okay, you're above us. Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, cool.
I'm moving.
Great. I mean, like, one of the things that I didn't know until I started getting like into like doing like ballistics research for the book was like all these like discussions of like stopping power are about race. Like they're
What do you mean by that?
like if you chart the development of like the bigger cartridge rounds, like when people start moving 38 specials to 45s to whatever, oh, he's back, yay!
All right.
Perfect.
Hey, hello!
Awesome. It was too quiet.
Enemy UAV.
We were just talking about the symbolism of, no, we were just talking about like the symbolism of guns and like how like AK-47s are bad guys and M16s are good guys and then I was like waxing
Contact.
about how like we've developed all
3
these
people on
different
the rooftop over here. I won't open fire until you guys open fire.
Contact.
There's 3 of them. You see them?
Okay, let's
Yeah.
pick our targets. I'm gonna get far left.
You got
Okay,
far left? I got middle.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
well, far, they're moving now.
Shit, yeah,
No,
maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't. Let's not.
Middle,
Let's not.
Yeah. Let's find a buy station, which is.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Right
Right
in front
over
of us.
Yep.
Yep, that's
Or
it.
this one. I like.
You like the 425?
I like the further one.
Alright, let's do the further one. We can get pretty far with the parachutes, too.
I'm jumping.
Same.
But yeah, like the history of like caliber development, like specifically like in like that period between like the Philippines occupation, like the Moro Rebellion and stuff, it's all about like there are quote unquote like berserk or like amok Filipino Moro warriors. They have knives and we need to quote unquote stop them by bigger calibers, right? And like this is the same thing like all these firearm forums where it's just like, oh yeah, we need a bigger caliber because like some like dude who's quote unquote on PCP or just like again like animalistic is going to come at you and you have to quote unquote stop them. And it's just like it's all about race. Like it really.
I never made that connection, but you're right about the internet gun community being obsessed with caliber size. It's crazy.
It's all and like the data on stopping power is really weird because like my understanding from like again like me reading it like I haven't like taken full course of this is that like a lot of it's like psychological such that like it's like some of the like bigger calibers may like make people fall over not because of the actual like physics of the connecting like that like damage like power of the punch, but more as it makes a tremendously loud noise and you get hit with something and you just go down kind of involuntarily. It has nothing to do with like the actual size of the thing. I don't know. I mean, I obviously like certain shots will just like kill you immediately, but I don't know. It's
Well, also, I don't think anyone who makes those arguments has ever like shot anybody.
yes.
Fuck, I'm getting shot.
All right.
See him.
I got him. He's down. Oh, one is
There's 2 of them.
down.
There's 2 of them.
Eliminated.
Got a
Got
target.
one down.
I'm prone to cover. Ooh, shit.
Shit. He's got me. He's on the ridge there. His buddy is dead and
I
down.
pinged him. He's
Yeah.
resing his friend.
Well,
Quick armor.
fucking FAL.
Oh, good guy.
Yep.
Do you still have the FAL?
Yeah, I couldn't find anything better.
There were so many guns between. We were running by all those boxes and everything.
Come on,
I-
Patrick.
I gotta pick something. I'm gonna gulag it out. Watch this.
Oh shit. Oh guys, watch me fight.
You return to the front line. You lose.
Wow. Rich, Richard, your advice for how to win the gulag, like, is awesome. It works every time.
Your team
Well,
I died in the gulag. Wait, what's the advice in the gulag?
Start looking in
I
one
always
direction.
feint like I'm gonna go left, and then I quickly turn right, sprint down the right, and just start shooting. You know,
Every time.
before I see the person.
That makes sense.
But I always need clear for the person, but I shoot before I ever have a target. Before I have my sights on target. You know?
dropping into the AO.
So that's for all you streamers. That's the my patented gulag style. It works every time the person that you're.
Fuck! Come on, window!
Duck left. Like so
Fake left.
Fake
So
left.
you point left, and then as soon as it starts, you sprint right down the right. You're gonna run into them, and then as soon as you catch a glimpse of them, start shooting, and then bring your cursor onto them. That's
It's
my-
smart. It does work. It does work. I've only lost one gulag today that I can remember.
Oh Oh my god.
Ah, shit. Just too short.
Oh no, I landed in death.
Smart.
What's next?
You zig, they zag. This is good. No! Oh man, we're not gonna crack that top 10.
Look at me, just backing up right into him, not looking.
Alright, I'll get another game going. You should tell us about this book.
Yeah, C.J. Chivers' book about the AK-47, the gun. Have you played that? It's amazing. I haven't played that. Fucking Reddit. Sorry. Woo!
No, I haven't read that. I have his other book, the Fighters. I think C.J. Chivers is just an amazing writer.
He's really good.
And not only an amazing writer, but a really thoughtful and insightful person as well.
Yeah, he's a good guy. His posts on Twitter are really good and like really humane, and yeah, he's wonderful.
Yeah, and very anti-imperialist for a former Marine officer. You know?
Yeah.
And did you ever read his piece in? I guess it was in New York Magazine or New York Times. It was kind of a few years old, but it was about when he was in Libya, reporting for the New York Times, and he went to a site of a battle, and talks about how he was using his training in the Marines to find where where he would put. He's looking for gun positions, and he was using his training in the Marines, like where would I put mortars? And he would go look on those hills, and sure enough, there would be mortars there. And talking about how when he asked like NATO where because he's looking for where NATO had bombed these guys, and when he asked NATO where they were, they wouldn't tell him, or they told him the wrong spot, but he found them. And then while he was there, NATO tried to bomb him and kill him. Maybe they didn't know who he was, maybe they did, but just he was part of the battle had been over for the day or whatever. Wasn't a large number of people, but they tried to kill him. They didn't kill him, and then when he went to go complain to him, like, hey, you just almost killed a New York Times reporter. Like they just, basically told him no, he didn't.
Wow.
And how infuriating it was for him. And so, like, I think, I don't know personally or anything, but just like that experience for him, I think is it might have been a little bit of his radicalization. Like what the hell,
I guess, like, yeah, like, the idea of radicalization is really, I don't want to, like, I'm trying to think, like, when I, like, people, like, one thing I've noticed in a lot of these games, right, is that, like, in a lot of, like, military and entertainment, like, industrial complex sort of media, it's, like, there's, like, this narrative where it's, like, a lot of people, like, you go to war and you're idealistic, and then war happens to you, and then you leave it just being embittered, and it's, like, the powerful are bad. Right, it's it's you and your squad against the world, and it's really depoliticizing in some ways, right? Like it's just like you develop like kind of like almost like and I think some of the Black Ops games are kind of into this, where you just develop a kind of like paranoid antagonistic relationship with power. But like I'm interested about like the people who a lot of people who've served and then politicize in ways that are not just like disaffected, but that involve like new kinds of solidarity and like a critical relationship to what they've done previously. I don't know. I didn't know that had happened to C.J. Chivers. That's fascinating.
We're getting ready to jump out.
Yeah. I think the thing is, most people aren't activated politically, so like I don't feel like veterans are necessarily any different than anyone else like that. Most veterans are not necessarily politically radicalized in their experiences, just like most people.
A couple of people behind us.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what maybe. It sounds like you might know a little bit more. So what it is.
I don't even know. I feel like trauma probably sometimes, or like getting like fucked about like I have to like be delicate because like a lot of like I've definitely had friends who have been like.
There's a lot of bad guys down there, huh?
Yeah, this can be rough. We can win this though. First place, baby.
Like I had a friend who was in Force Recon, and he hated. How do I like? He had the experience of like being deployed and like he was in Ramallah. He was in a Fallujah rather. Sorry. And like it had a series of experiences there, and like was like disaffected in a variety of ways about like just like what he just like felt. He lost his sense of investment in whatever he felt the project was.
SMG over here.
But then like it didn't become a political thing for him until he tried to re-enlist because he's like, I don't know what else I can do, and then he failed at like a drug test because like he was just like self-medicating for trauma basically, right? But then it was like, so it was a combination of both like, and this is a story that I've had other friends have like had too, where it's like it's a combination both of like you question the enterprise like as a broader thing, like what are we doing here, but then you have a personal experience of like being taken advantage of or like being rejected somehow. And like those two things seem to work together somehow. I don't know. Like that's like seems like I don't have like a model like that's like that I've like thought through, but
Yeah, I can see. So I mean, some of the things you're saying, like I can sort of like
Contact on me. Contact on me.
Got it.
I got movement.
I'm touching.
They're right inside this building. Right here. They're right inside this building.
I'm gonna go around the other end.
All right, I'm gonna go through this window.
Okay.
Flash out.
I'm burning somebody.
Well,
I think there's someone else in there on the left, maybe.
we're good. We're clear.
Okay, cool, nice.
Yep, there. I threw another. Well, I have infinite grenades right now.
You guys doing all right with guns?
Got an assault.
Yeah, I'm all right. I've got a LMG and another FAL, but I will take that to war. Really rather have that.
Should
Well,
be more picky with my
Well, it's
weapons.
interesting because I identify with some of the things you said about that, and even like coming back to just like generally disaffected and fine-tuning that. I get a little, giving that some purpose, but yeah, I also think about the radicalization of like, the enemy of the war on terror, which I've also spent a lot of time thinking.
We got gas moving in.
Yeah.
Trying to understand, and the data that all the terrorism researchers share is that the number one radicalization factor for jihadists, not religion, it's not the Quran, it's not socioeconomic factors, it's not money, it's just friendship. That's it. It's just
That's interesting.
Solid work.
like their friend. Like, why did you join the jihad group? Because my friend did it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's changed. That data's a little old. That was kind of like early 2000s, and maybe. And I know the data kind of shifted after ISIS and stuff because in general, the jihadists, like the radicalized, got younger and had different factors. Like this is
Anybody
already
need
after
this?
You want to hit a buy station, grab some
something to talk to this
UAVs or
vendor.
something, and then we can move in a little deeper. Since we finished that
Sure,
quest,
yeah.
it showed us
Yeah,
the next
good.
circle, so we should probably just shoot for the next circle.
Do it.
But so yeah, like the idea that friendship is the radicalization thing. So I think there's something to
Yeah.
what alienates. So for a veteran, like veterans, is like especially disaffection. Like if you, and I think most veterans don't realize they share this with other veterans. It takes a long time for them to figure it out. But that disaffection makes you feel less connected to. Oh, we got guys coming. They're hunting us. Two of them. They're moving tactically. Oh
Yeah,
god.
see him.
Damn, yeah.
All right, drop
I'm
back,
gonna
drop
flank
back,
around.
drop back. Get away from that buy box. Get away from that buy box.
Move. All
Can we
right.
get inside someplace? Get a defensible position.
Yes, I'm moving towards you.
I flanked around.
All right, I'm flanking a little wider right. Patrick,
up
you're
on
gonna be
this
coming
building
through
here.
the left edge.
I'm right here on this building, going on the roof.
Going this way.
This is nice.
It's a good spot. It's gonna be a fight. So
Enemy
excited.
UAV overhead.
They got UAV pops. I think they have ghosts, so I don't see them on the heartbeat sensor.
I'm being shot from north, due north.
North, 345. I see him.
Yeah.
I'm flanking wide.
Are they in the tent here? No. Oh shit. I got one of them ease down. Oh, there you go. Okay. That's one.
All right,
Am I
I'm
close
above
to
you.
them? I feel like I'm right on top of where they should be.
Oh, I see one. Right there, mark them, live mark them.
Contact.
need some help here.
Here we come. I'm just gonna keep I'm just aggressive if you want to move in. Let's see.
Watch it. Another guy.
Oh,
Another
there
guy coming.
you go.
Another guy coming.
Oh, going. All right. Falling back to the 10.
Is there more? We know. Are we?
Yeah, there's another one. I got shot. Yeah, do 69. Nice. 65, 69 east.
Nice.
Oh, and right next to me, 169, right immediately next to me, right here. There's a guy right here on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
All right.
Inside the structure there.
I don't know if it's inside. I'm inside the structure, so he's not right there.
Okay. Let's
Yeah,
see.
he just grenaded my building.
I got one back here. One the right
I see movement.
way that way. So further away from us northeast. He might have decided he didn't want any. He ran over.
I'm going inside. Oh,
That's
you,
me.
sorry.
That's me. You're good. You're good.
Whew, thank God there's a friendly fire. Sorry.
3 northwest. Northwest. 335, 285.
There you go. All right.
Oh yeah, more people will be coming.
Got the drop bag inbound.
Okay.
And it's a new squad. They're coming in on us. We should probably keep moving.
That-
All right, southwest 238. 238.
All right.
Watch the roof. Watch the
Gas
roof.
is inbound.
All right.
New safe zone.
Oh, we need to get into the circle eventually, too. So we have time.
All right, I'm gonna start moving towards the circle.
Towards the circle?
You-
Remember, we got
if I-
guys behind us.
By way of the loadout drop, or do you? Oh, there's a buy station here. Let's hit that.
I think probably prioritizing avoiding a fight. You can do.
That's smart.
Enemy UAV
That's
overhead.
right.
Keep moving away from. Well, don't linger at that buy station.
So 5 kit and a UAV. Oh, yeah.
All right, we got guys. Just live marked them.
Contact.
Cool.
100 meters away.
Buy station. There you go.
That's it. I'm taking fire from the rooftop right there.
On top
All
of
right.
me. Okay, I see him. I see him. They're moving in on you. Moving in. Man, if I could fucking aim.
I'm still taking fire. That's my top.
A
All
couple
right, we
over
pushed
there.
them back. They're inside their building.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, I'm gonna move. I'm taking fire. I'm down.
Can I may be able to get to you. Let's see. Ah, shit. I think you're gonna get. I think I'm gonna be able to get you. Hold on. Fuck.
Get
fuck.
cover, get cover.
Oh, you got you.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Oh, it's so close.
Damn!
Oh, no.
Gas is moving.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, it was a noble
I'm
effort.
gonna be a coward. I'm gonna go to the left.
Just do it.
Judge
Okay.
me.
Your teammate is in the gulag now. If they survive, they
Got this
deploy.
gulag fight. Oh, I heard
Alright,
this cool tip on how to win a gulag fight.
Yeah, I'm
fade to the
gonna-
left.
Your teammate was
Apply
sent to
that
the
right
gulag.
now.
They'll fight for a chance to redeploy.
Time to earn your freedom, soldier.
We should have a movie night. We can watch like you ever seen Death Wish, the original '70s one?
Yep.
Watch Death Wish.
Teammate has been cleared.
Oh, shit. I
How
gotta take it.
the gun is
Your
phallic.
teammate lost the fight. Now they
He has like
And,
a what?
Fuck.
He has like a 44 auto mag in that. That's like the Death Wish gun, right?
Yeah. God damn it. He's right on top of me. That's right.
Yes.
How many people
Yeah, I
do we
really
have,
want to. Line.
win here and you return to
Alright,
the front
alright,
line.
here we go.
You lose, your fight is over. Beat them down or capture the objective.
Every time, man. Works every time. Without fail. Who amongst us is still alive?
I'm out.
All right, I see you. I'm coming right through.
You do not feel any pressure to revive me.
Move to the next area and secure the perimeter.
Seems like things got a little quiet in the comments.
No, there's still back and forth. People are talking about, they're getting very granular about Soviet versus American firearms technology.
Did you see, I can't remember, maybe you could fill me in. Who was it that was commenting that there's like an ongoing spat in the FBI about their failure to adopt 10mm rounds because female agents supposedly weren't able to handle it or something like that?
Yeah, this is back in the 90s. There was this open question about like,
I'm sorry, did you want that gun? I'll take anything as long as it's not a pistol. Shit.
There's more guns.
We're good.
There's a really good book that sort of gets into. So C.J. Travers' book is excellent. The gun is about like basically it's a history of the assault rifle. Right? That's like, it's about the AK-47, but it's about assault rifle development in general. And he does like this really cool like comparative political economy using the AK-47 and the M16 as objects, and like it's very productive because like this one is state-centered, like command economy. Designed for bulk use, and this one is like space age, privatized, public-private sector shit. Like it's a really productive way to look at these two objects. But there's a book about Glock that gets into pistols, and I forget who the author of it is. I'll look this up. Wayne Barrett, Paul Barrett. Paul Barrett has this book about the history of the Glock, and he gets into this where it's like, I guess at some point in like the late 80s, early 90s, there's a push to, again, continually up caliber size, and for a period of time, a bunch of people are using non-Glock like 10mm stuff. Like it's like a Smith & Wesson has like a 6 Sigma or whatever, all these like early plastic metal hybrid things. And yeah, people really want to use the 10mm, but supposedly the 10mm recoil was too much. And so, weirdly, all the literature blames women. Specifically, it's like women FBI agents can't handle the 10mm. Again, like it's pretty overdetermined. Yeah, and so that's why they switched to 40, right? I don't know, like.
Pretty weird. I never heard that story before. I've also never.
Yeah. But again, like all that caliber stuff. Just I guess on like a large numbers, like efficiency sort of statistics sort of thing. Maybe I guess makes sense. But like just to me, like if you're gonna shoot somebody, you're gonna shoot them with every bullet in your magazine. If you're gonna shoot them a lot of times, like doesn't matter if it's a 22 or a 9 or 45. Like
that's right.
You're not going to just shoot them once.
Yeah, that's as someone once said, like if you put enough holes in them, it doesn't matter. Like that's like I feel like it's like there's a weird thing going on with American gun fetishism and these games too, where it's like all about object fetishism and these really precise elements that like to the exclusion of thinking about like tactics or like the will to fight or why people are fighting. Instead, it's just like we're going to luxuriate in these objects as consumer goods.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Where? Oh, did you fall?
I fell.
You fell.
All right, I can get there.
Don't fall too.
Ah, I fell. Okay, never mind. I didn't fall.
Oh my gosh! You just hit the
bottom.
My god! You were so.
That was
close.
skill. That was skill. That was nothing but skill. Climb up this death ladder with me.
I'm never going up that ladder.
I'm waiting. Oh, I'm not hunted anymore.
Mark out, moving.
Okay, all right. I'll be right behind you.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Man, there's so many UAVs. I feel like we're being hunted.
Enemy UAV overhead.
All right, come at you.
Ooh, hello. Oh yeah, you may be able to buy me back if you want. I mean, no pressure here.
Oh yeah, we can buy.
No pressure here.
Let's go to. Okay, we see where the. Let's go here. I want to go here. We get
That
there.
buy
Gun
station.
vendor,
Do
get
you want to
your
grab a
supplies.
vehicle and go for it, or do you just want to try to buff it?
I think so. Should
There's
we
a
get
truck
in
right
the-
behind us. I'll grab it. I'll grab it.
I'm gonna get the back with an RPG.
Oh, yo, you see the airstrike? Alright. Let's go get our boy. Okay, just gonna keep serving. I'm gonna get you to cover. I'm gonna get you to cover.
I think I just hit the back. I think you went over a bump, and because you went over the bump, I hit the back of the truck with the RPG.
It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. You're not dying.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Right behind us. Right behind us.
Down again.
Fuck, 3-shot burst kills me every time.
Return to base for the
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all right. There's...
Seems like we peaked. This is us. We're high teens players.
It's 11:30. I might be ready to call it quits soon. I'm getting tired.
I could do one more, but I don't want to keep you all up. It's no pressure here. It's whatever there's. We could also wind it down. It's whatever we'd like. It's whatever. Oh, is it really 11:30? Holy shit. Okay, well, any way we want it.
Any way we want it.
Hey, it's your guys' show. I'm just
Wait,
here for a ride.
Zenobius.
I'll play another one if you want to.
I'll play another one. I mean, honestly, this has been a delightful experience. Like Richard, you've made this this has been really great. So there's
See what Zenobius just dropped in the chat?
Yep, Sons of Guns. When people are talking about are there reality TV shows that are about gunsmithing, and yes, Sons of Guns.
And that guy raped an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old?
Yeah, that was Sons of Guns in Louisiana. I think Red Jacket Firearms, and they kept on doing crimes. Like I remember there was some stuff where they were like going full like class 3 like conversions and like full auto stuff that they weren't properly stamping. It was a crazy shit show. Because all this gun shit is like a good way to launder money. But then also on top of that, one of them was like a rapist, and so yeah, that's a good way to end this reality TV series. Yeah.
I thought Duck Dynasty was fucked up.
Yeah. And the gun stuff on like a Pawn Stars, I used to be really into Pawn. Like this is
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Pawn Stars is great. No.
I'm changing my operator. That's what we need. I need to change the operator now. We're going.
Here. That's a good call.
Should we all be the same person? Didn't we all just unlock what's his face?
Price?
Yeah. Just go in as just a squad of SAS.
No, it shouldn't be Price though, because he's a new one. We should be someone that people would be surprised to see. Like people wouldn't be that surprised to see Price right now.
3
we
shirtless
surprise
Russians,
them so we can kill him. There we go. I'm for that. I'll do that.
Oh wait, what? Do we all have the Burger Town outfit?
I have Burger Town, yeah.
Burger Town.
Oh wait, I don't. So can I be your manager? Can you guys be Burger Town? Can you guys be Burger Town and I'll be your shift manager?
I don't think I think
and change our costumes.
Yeah, you have to grab Burger Town uniforms.
I think I can't change it.
We have to quit out of the game.
hostile dropping into the area.
Oh man, why did every gun that I picked up in 3-shot burst?
Yeah, the Pawn Stars guys are huge gun nuts too, and it got kind of creepy at a certain point. I think Chum Lee may have gotten. It definitely got.
Finishing moves. You guys know how to do finishing moves?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, melee hold down the melee button in their back.
Hold it down. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's like a stealth execution move in like if you're doing like Assassin's Creed or something. Like it's got insane.
Oh, someone did it to me. Oh man, I don't like that.
No, it's really horrifying when it happens to you.
Another jarring way to die. Hey, Mahalia. Hello. Mahalia's watching.
Mahalia.
Alright, should we let Pat pick our final?
No,
drop
you know
point?
you are in charge. I'm following you. You're
Alright,
both
Richard, you.
better than I am.
I'm terrible at Battle Royale.
Okay. Oh, look at this circle.
Battle Royale. You've got gas closing in
Yes!
fast. Get to the safe zone.
I want to go.
Three Toad says. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I want to go here, but we're gonna have to move across the airfield, the river and the airfield to get into the circle.
That's okay. I think we can make it. We'll grab a vehicle.
No, I don't want to get in a vehicle. I swear, we're getting killed.
To get across the airfield?
We're gonna just have to do it on foot. No one will see us. We'll just be little mice.
We do this.
Three Toad pointed out that Mythbusters eventually just became a show about guns.
That's right.
Yeah, totally did.
I just realized we're gonna play about that. Is anyone else coming down with us?
I'm coming down. No, I haven't seen anybody yet.
Oh yeah, you're right. Me neither. This is a good spot.
I think we did okay.
Everyone's going up down the circle. We're out here by ourselves. We're gonna run right across that airfield.
Thought I saw a broken window, but I don't.
Primary objective is to eliminate all targets.
Plenty of loot here.
Ooh, sweet.
Oh, ammo refill. Who wants unlimited ammo?
Yeah, let's get some ammo. This is like one of my favorite places tonight, I think.
Yeah, this is good. Shit, tons of cash lying around here.
And a buy station, so once we loot everything, we can do some shopping.
What is this? This PP-19? Am I saying that right? Is that the right?
Which one is that?
Yeah, PP-19
Oh.
Bizon. I love this gun.
That's like an AK. That's the Polish AK-47 submachine gun, I think, right?
I love it.
It's the,
It's so fun to shoot in this game.
named after the Polish bison, the European Vicent.
Seriously? Huh.
Yep.
It
They-
kind of
they
does
have-
look like one.
They have buffalo out there, yeah. I mean, they don't call it buffalo.
Is there a way you can like inspect the gun in your hand? Can't you hold it in front of the camera?
Ooh, I don't know.
I think there is.
I know I've seen people do it before, but I'm not cool enough to know how to do it. No window in some of these buildings over here.
I need a weapon.
I think we can do that. Let's go up.
Alright.
All right, I've gone through most of the outbuildings here, and there's pretty much nothing in them that I haven't grabbed.
There's an armored SUV up here. We could. Oh wait. We could
Yeah, let's
clear.
clear that little village up there, and then
Yeah.
let's come back to the buy station.
Oh, that's a good plan. We played this before.
Mozzarella, European Juber. Yes, that's right. We're talking about the European bison, the Vicent, and I'm thinking about the Polish vodka. Oh my God, with buffalo grass in it. Oh my God, why am I blanking on this? It's one of my favorite things. Zhubrówka, yes, named for the Zhuber. Yeah, that's really good vodka.
Man, GFTL's on the ball tonight.
Yeah. If either of you had Zhubrówka, the vodka?
Not unless you've served it to me.
No, I don't. It's worth. It's like it has like a light, like it's like a. They flavor it with this like herbal, like a single sprig of it you get. It's like somewhere between vanilla and lemongrass. Like it's a very delicate, very pleasant flavor. Yeah.
What do you think about that buy station?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can get a parachute.
That's right, Zhubrówka.
What? No parachute? Are you kidding me?
We need some more money.
Oh, come on.
The last time I was in Poland, I would
Helicopter.
get shots of Zhubrówka with apple juice, and they've called it, I guess because apple juice is American, they call it Tatanka, which I think is Lakota Sioux for buffalo. It was really good. Okay.
Yeah, I live in Oklahoma. I'm sure we have a lot of local bison named vodka.
I mean, there might be. I've seen it. This one I think Diageo may own, so you can get it in probably most of the state, most of the lower 48.
Oh, there's a dead silence in there.
I'll take that if you want it. There's
The trophy system is pretty good.
Take it.
Yeah. Stops rockets.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's good to put on top of a car, actually.
Wait, it stops rockets?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you pop one on top of a car, and you're not going to get hit with C4 or grenades or rockets.
That's interesting.
I think it stops 4 of them. We got a vehicle
Hey, found a
here.
ride.
Here. We got a little bit to haul, and the gas is coming in.
We have
Enemy
a
helicopter coming in.
Coming to the buy station. They're coming.
Enemy helicopters spotting on us.
Come. Let's
They
see.
didn't know we were here.
Oh, they know
Let's
now. They're going for the buy station. I'm gonna drop a mine on that shit.
Let's see.
Enjoy, motherfuckers.
Where? I don't have eyes on them. Where are they?
Check your name out.
Oh, they're low.
Yeah, there's. Oh, they're above. Okay, there. Down they go.
He's off. He's on the roof.
Yep.
He's down. He's down. He's on the roof above you.
There he is.
I got one in the building with me. Broke his armor.
All right, one of them is down on the. I killed him on the
In
roof.
the building with me. I got 2. They're shooting at me. I'm stuck in this room. God damn it. It is
Coming.
Molotov.
Oh shit! He's at the top of the stairs. There, he's going for me.
Back up.
I'm coming down. You
In the room
glitch on
with
the
me.
stairs
In
so
the room
hard.
with me. There's one in the room with me. He just showed up the window. He's outside.
I'm in this closet here, Dan. There's one over
I'm
there.
sorry,
on the
I
ground.
can't res you. I'll just die if I.
He's down here. We got wrecked. They just flew in and said, "Go star by station."
I got them. They're all dead. Can I get any of you?
Squad's in the gulag now. If they survive, they redeploy.
Fuck. All right, I'm gonna try to res you, and then I gotta hightail it to get out of here.
Survives, they redeploy.
I can't do it. I don't have enough money. I gotta run. That was exciting. Oh, no, I don't want that.
Find you what you're fighting, soldier.
I think I got spray painted in here.
Do you remember seeing
Redeploying to the AO.
like sitcoms and other like popular kind of passive American entertainment talking about the Iraq War and the war on terror and all that?
Yeah. My favorite is Flight of the Conchords when he dates a woman who tells him that she's a Marine Corps sniper and she's deploying to Iraq tomorrow to break up.
I love that show, but that scene is not ringing a bell for me. It's making me want to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I really like that. It was like probably came out in like 2005 or 2004 too, so it was like really kind of like new still, you know. And the idea that men might be doing that. I remember when I was in basic training, someone writing me a letter that I went to high school with saying that telling women at the bar that they were leaving to go to Iraq was like the summer's best pickup line or something. And like they were like just, civilians, and, I was
Shit, we are far apart, man. There's so much space between us. We really need to work on our relationship.
I'm driving. Let's
I'm
go.
coming towards you. I feel like, oh, I listened to that podcast that, Patrick, you told me about it, Blowback?
Yeah. No Cohen's thing,
Fascinating.
yeah.
Fascinating. Really good podcast. Really enjoyed that. Oh, hey, if I was to get into Twitter, this is something I wanted to ask both of you while you were together. If I wanted to get into Twitter, who should I follow? Is that too much?
Don't follow anybody and don't ever tweet.
Yeah, that's. I don't want. I mean, Richard's a very good follow. Like, no, your content's good.
I don't speak for an audience anymore, so I guess it depends on your Maybe when I created Burnout, it was less to the move now. Less... Oh, I someone on the roof up here.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Cool. Yeah,
oh shit! I was gonna go for this weapons drop. I'm just doing it while it's here. Hells yeah! All right, got it. We're good.
Let's roll.
And now I die immediately. All right, come back to you.
Getting like that rooftop.
Where are you going?
Away from the rooftop. Maybe up here. Burger time.
So when is that circle closing in? We have 2.5 minutes.
Oh, it really does say Burger Garage, doesn't it?
There's armor in here if you need some.
Got some body armor.
A lot of it.
Ah, damn it.
What the fuck?
I never knew someone was there. I swear it's not being able to hear footsteps.
Victory rests on your shoulders. Finish the mission.
Yes, we're in a gameplay. Yeah, GTL is like gameplay discussion. There's a dialectic of trade-offs here between gameplay and discussion.
Yeah.
Damn it! Run into a room. That was dumb. That was dumb. That was dumb. Poor tactical decision making.
Now, fight to earn redeployment.
Am I in here with you, Richard?
Alright, so truth here. Let's see if my strategy that I taught does work.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Everyone's
you
watching.
return to the front line, but if you lose, you're done.
In the stream, we're talking about Native American Lumbee resistance against the Klan. It's kind of amazing. Oh, nice!
Back to the front line. You earned it.
Man, good job.
Did you all know about this episode in 1958, the Battle of Hayes Pond?
No.
Where it's kind of an amazing. It's in North Carolina, and basically the Klan tried to do a massive rally in the county in North Carolina, and essentially Native Americans from the Lumbee Nation literally fought them off and like beat the shit out of them and got into a gun battle with them and kicked the Klan out of this county in North Carolina, and they never came back.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's kind of an amazing like moment in history. So
God damn it! There's another one.
Lost that one.
Sorry. I should have known.
Oh, the wages of conflict.
That's
there.
that.
That was amazing. Well,
And that was super fun.
This was fantastic.
Richard, would you ever do this again?
Yeah, sure. I think that'll be fun if you guys would have me back.
We delighted to. Like there are many other things I wanted to ask you. I had a list of all these questions. Like there are things we talked about yesterday, but like this was just fun, and also we're a really good squad, I think. And I don't even.
We could be good. I'm telling you, there's just we definitely have potential. I mean, we were hitting in the teens, you know. So if we had just some more focus, I'm sure we could definitely get in top 10 and even a win. I believe in it.
I think we could crack top 10 if we maybe one of these days we should play with no pretense, no nothing. It's just Warzone.
Oh, if we played without talking, without streaming and trying to have an intelligent discussion, I bet.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know, but then at what cost, right?
Exactly.
What-
I enjoyed the
to what
discussion
end?
today. This is great. This is really interesting.
Yeah. This was yeah. There's definitely some like cognitive trade-offs and like the sound of gunfire and like listening for gun step like footsteps and like gunshots, but then also talking about I don't know like ideological formation and the military entertainment. Like it's an endurance sport. It's like something is. No, this was delightful, Richard. Thank you so much. We'd love to have you back, and yeah, like if you want to, anytime you want to hang on the Discord, but like yeah, we could do this again. But also we could play independently and like just squad up and do this. It'd be delightful. And I think there's some people in the Discord who want to play and in the chat who would want to play with us.
Yeah, I like the idea of the anti-imperialist Call of Duty podcast regiment.
I mean, I'm all
playing together.
I wanted to pick your brain too about coming up with a better name, like a shorter name besides anti-imperialist Call of Duty Twitch stream. Like, there's got to be a tighter, like, ideally something that sounds badass but also ironic and that hasn't been used by like an actual historical death squad would be helpful. But yeah, there's that universe of things is limited. So we got to come up with stuff.
A counter in streamancy? No. No.
That's something.
There you go. And shout outs to Three Toed GFTL.
Yeah.
Who's that? Zenobius, totally. Nonlinear. Y'all brought it hot tonight. This was great.
Yeah, Warren Moroff, Julie, it's good to see you. People were really stuck around. Thank you so much. We'll cut this up into a tighter video and we'll send it to you, Richard, as well. And like, I may ask for like reading recommendations for you, but like, yeah, thank you so much for your time. And like, it was just a pleasure to talk and to put a voice to your Twitter account and to hang out. We should do it again.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, and it really was great playing with both of you. And thanks to your audience for sticking with us.
Yeah.
And, I think what you're doing here is really cool. You know, I really do. I think sort of examining this stuff is needed, and I think this is a cool medium to do it on too. So I'm gonna just stick around as a fan if nothing else.
Oh yeah, man. Keep playing with us.
So please. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching tonight. Like, y'all are hardcore, so I don't need to like plug the Patreon or anything. Like, but thank you for being here and spread the word and come and hang out. And yeah, we'll set up a regiment, and there'll be stuff in the Discord, the Patreon content I'll be pushing out over the course of the coming days, and with more bibliography, reading stuff, and links to things. And please keep posting stuff. Oh, we'll put one more invite to the Discord in the stream here, and we will. So in case you were not in the Discord, we will. Put it in there.
Oh, and I'm gonna drop this link to the YouTube trailer for that game where you beat up Osama bin Laden.
Oh my God, that's gonna be amazing! This is like I have to find some way to play this. I also want to play the Iranian Call of Duty knockoff that they put out.
Do you want me to play the video clip right now?
Please.
Well, actually, no. I should. We should figure out a way to do it so that you could actually see the video feed. But I could play it through the Twitch stream, totally.
We'll find some way to get it. This is going to be amazing. All right, violence inherent in the system. T-bits. Oh my God.
T-bits? I like that.
T-bits actually not a bad name.
Sounds like something I would pop. All
right. Okay, well, we went for 3 hours, which is kind of amazing, and this was great content. 4 hours, Jesus Christ. What do you think? Well, everyone, please stay safe out there, stay safe and healthy, and keep your heads on swivels, I guess. I don't know.
All right. See you, everybody.
Good night, everyone.